Okay, guys, we are here today. NASDAQ just tested 26,000. It's actually technically red on the day right now. It's pretty much flat. Let's take a look at it here. Also, guys, some really bad news happened to me this morning. I woke up and my coffee machine did not work. What is going on today? What is going on today? I am now drinking espresso in hot water. I guess you could call this an Americana. It's not bad, but it's not what I like. I'm pretty upset about it. But anyways, look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is down under the previous closing price. We're now technically red. We bounced right off of, look at this level here. The volume weighted average price in the 26,000 level is exactly at the same spot. Exactly at the same spot. And so I'm definitely watching these levels. Honestly, the market has been really flat for the extended hour session. If I zoom out here, we didn't really go anywhere, the extended hour session. No volatility happened. The market ripped up yesterday. We are very close to all-time highs. The NASDAQ is really about $400 away from all-time highs here. So we're getting really close to all-time highs in the NASDAQ, to be honest, this morning. And hopefully today will be better in terms of volatility. But yeah, NASDAQ's getting very close. We will be trading today a lot with everything going on. And yeah, we have news. Some of the news, Trump did speak a little bit this morning. He talked about Anthropic threat is not a systemic issue. He said the Strait is opening up for Iran. He said a couple minutes ago that, again, the Strait is opening up for Iran. He says Iran is about to reach an agreement as well. He just said this. He said they're going to make a deal. He's speaking on Fox Business. He said they're about to reach an agreement. They are going to make a deal. UK Prime Minister Starmer is also speaking a lot as well. He said a lot of us pressure has been applied to me on Iran. A lot of U.S. pressure has been applied to me on Iran. Trump, when asked about banks and AI risks, said AI could lead to greatness in the banking system. And yeah, so he's still speaking on Fox Business. On the Fed, he thinks rates will go lower when Warsh gets in. So Trump said he thinks rates will go lower when Warsh gets in. He said Powell will be fired if he does not leave on time. Powell will be fired, apparently, by Trump if he does not leave on time. Remember, Powell's term is supposed to expire next month. He asked if we'll call for an end of probe of Fed Powell. He said we have to find out what happened there. He said, I hope Warsh gets confirmed next week. The Strait is opening up for Iran and, some more stuff. But yeah, he's been speaking all morning. Markets are kind of negatively reacting so far, though. Over the last 5 minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over the last 7 minutes, we have had negative reactions. Now, we did reject right here off of this volume-weighted average price level in the NASDAQ. You can take a look at the S&P 500 here. The S&P 500, very similar. Again, a very flat extended hour session. A very flat morning so far for the S&P. Here's the Dow. The Dow's slightly red relative to where it closed yesterday. Still green overnight, but here's where it closed yesterday, and here's where we are now. So we're slightly red. If we get back over this previous closing price, we'll be green, but so far we are red, slightly red. At the same time, though, a lot of this stuff is pretty close to all-time highs here. The S&P 500 all-time highs, again, 70.43 on the S&P 500 futures contract. We hit 70.17s this morning. We're at 7,000, almost exactly 7,000 on the S&P this morning. If this is the S&P futures contract. If we're talking about the actual S&P 500, those all-time highs are, I believe, a little bit closer to where we are now here. They're at 7,002. So getting very close here, very close. The Dow is, I would say, underperforming a little bit. The Dow's still like $1,000 or more away from its all-time highs. So the Dow underperforming, tech and the S&P. But yeah, honestly, I kind of want to short this, but I think with the president speaking, there's too much risk to trade right now. What do you guys think? Should I short this right now, chat? Let me know. What's up? Let me say hey to everybody here. What's up? VA, Pawn, Todd, Brian, Cato, Nathan, Max, want to be a trader, F, Sam, Checkboard, Roof, Big Slum, Ava, Canada, Sergio, Michelle, Tad. I know, man, my coffee machine was like, it boycotted me this morning. Nikolai, what's up, dude? Alan, Roman, Tony, Curtis, Kiro, Yi, K, Alyssa, Chansra, what's up, dude? Significant, Jonathan, Hard Drip, Apex, Old Hack. What's up, guys? Good morning.
And good morning from me, everybody.
Brit's here, guys. Brit's here. Coffee is blockaded today.
And I have coffee.
I know, dude. Listen, Brit's just rubbing it in my face this morning, man. How could he do this to me, guys? He's drinking coffee. I'm not. I mean, honestly, this is pretty good. I honestly don't mind what I'm drinking right now. I'm just joking. Like, it's not bad. You know, there was a time.
And also, I've got a quick question. Aside from like the last 10 minutes with the slightly negative reaction, do you think that long sideways trend was just like a breath hold, like in anticipation of whatever news might come out?
Yeah, I mean, basically when we closed yesterday and then opened back up at 6 o'clock market time, we closed the market closes every day at 5 o'clock market time and opens back up at 6. Right here's that close and open. Prior to that, the market just absolutely ripped yesterday. Just super bullish yesterday. We did have some bank earnings this morning too, and ASML did report. Although ASML releases in the middle of the night because it's like a European country or company. So ASML is down slightly from their earnings report. They beat EPS and revenue, but they are down slightly from their earnings report. Down slightly. We also had Bank of America early this morning here, guys. Let's see. Bank of America ended up posting. I think it's at on the bottom scroller already. The 30-year mortgage rate showed up also at 6.42%, which was lower than what it was last time at 6.51%. Bank of America ended up posting 111 EPS. They expected 101. Revenue of 30.3 billion. I'll put this number up in the chat as well here. Who's Dan? I won't be ignored, Dan.
Oh, that's a movie reference. I can't think of what it is though. I recognize it, but
I was about to say, Dan, stop ignoring him, dude. Stop it.
Maybe it's Dan Connor. You know.
Yeah, that's all right. I have an uncle Dan. Makes great crawfish. Morgan Stanley just reported though. So real quick, Morgan Stanley just came out with their numbers here. I'm gonna put those numbers up in chat as well. So Morgan Stanley did just drop. Here's Morgan Stanley. Let's see how they react to it. But Morgan Stanley did just drop. They posted 343 EPS versus 302 expected. Revenue of 20.6 billion. They expected 19.7 billion. So they beat EPS and revenue. Not really moving much from their earnings report. But here's Morgan Stanley price action here. They're just not moving much.
You know, and some people say 26 is more than 19.
That is true. Some people do say that. Most of the time, I would say it's 20.6, but still, most people say 20.6 is higher than 19.7.
Oh, I thought you said okay. All I heard was the 2 and the 6. Might be.
No, you're all good. It's this is in billions, so this is revenue. So this is $20.6 billion. You know.
Either way, my point holds.
Yeah, it does. It holds pretty well. Not always, but maybe. You know. ASML definitely a future hold, in my opinion. Very good outlook, and then the move today is not accurate of what is coming. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand with earnings. Morgan Stanley really hasn't moved at all from this earnings report. ASML, they did move from it, but this is such an expensive stock here. Look at this stock. This is a $1,500 a share stock. Super expensive. Gosh. And this thing has gone from $83 in 2013 to $1,500 today in the wake of the AI boom. So ASML, you know, huge revenue bringing in. And again, what ASML does, just to, you know, educate everybody, what ASML actually does is they develop advanced lithography systems. And so they develop and manufacture advanced lithography systems, including extreme ultraviolet light machines used by chip makers to print circuit patterns into silicone wafers. Exciting stuff here. Exciting stuff, but honestly very useful in the age of AI. ASML originally stands for Advanced Semiconductor Materials International, but then they joined with Philips and now it's ASM Lithography is what ASML stands for. But yeah, they are up big here, over $1,500 a share right now on their earnings. Morgan Stanley, again, did report they were at 184.40s today, 184.40s. And we are almost at all-time highs.
What ASML actually does is make you rich. Cool. I want to
Yeah.
be rich. So
I
do
want to
you
be rich too,
anticipate?
Britt.
Don't we all? I guess that's why we're here, right? Um, do you anticipate several of the all-time highs being broken today? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think there's a good chance we do. I think when you get close to all-time highs like this, again, here's the NASDAQ. Right, NASDAQ's pretty close to all-time highs. NASDAQ's a little bit farther away, though. Like, the NASDAQ all-time highs, just to put it in perspective, are here. So, like, we would have to do a similar move to what we did yesterday to hit that all-time high on the NASDAQ. You know, NASDAQ is here. Here's the move we did yesterday. So, this is the move yesterday. NASDAQ would have to basically do a similar move to what we did yesterday just to get up to all-time highs. Now, the question is, are we going to get another green day? We've had multiple green days. And that's the big question: is are we actually going to do that? We'd have to move up a lot for the NASDAQ. I think the S&P has a decent chance of breaking all-time highs. We can look at the SPY, which is the S&P. It's just the S&P in an ETF. All-time highs on the SPY are 697s. We're at 694.50s. So S&P has a decent shot to doing it, but even still, what is it? 697.80s. We'll call it 698s. 698s is right here. So S&P's got a shot. It needs to do about half of the move it did yesterday, and it'll be at all-time high. So the S&P's got a shot. The Dow's a little far away from it as well. Here's the S&P futures contract. Again, all-time highs, I believe, 70.43. Yeah, 70.43. So the S&P is very close. So the S&P has the best chance, I think, today of breaking all-time highs. At the same time, though, the NASDAQ is more tech-heavy. So in the NASDAQ 100, there's more tech stocks. And tech stocks generally move more. They're more volatile. Real quick, guys, something's going on right now. I'm thinking it's maybe Trump or something. But look, we got a big green candle here. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, I was going to ask uptick or downturn.
Yeah, it's an uptick. Could be Morgan Stanley data. All right, we did have the Iranian Foreign Ministry say we do not confirm any details mentioned by Western media about negotiations. This was a few minutes ago. This is not what's popping markets. Is it Morgan Stanley?
It's not an outright denial, though.
No, it's not. They're basically saying we don't confirm it. This could be Morgan Stanley delayed response here, but they're actually dipping down. They're up from their earnings slightly, but NASDAQ did just make a pop. NASDAQ is now technically green on the day. It tried to get over 26,000 and just couldn't. Iran's Bagheri, I might be mispronouncing that, but he said the level and type of nuclear enrichment is negotiable, according to him. So that's good news that maybe they're willing to negotiate some here. I don't know. We do have Bar Hammock Bowman speaking today, and the Beige Book.
Who is that? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
These are all Fed members. So like the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the way you have to kind of look at it is like there's all these different Fed members, right? And usually they're heads of regional banks. So you got like the Central Bank of Atlanta, you got the Bank of New York, you got the Central Bank of wherever, right? All these different regions in the country, they have these different heads of those regional banks, and all of those members get together. They're kind of like the mafia. They get together, and then Jerome Powell's the godfather, basically, of all of them. That's the easiest way to look at it. Just to make it in simplified terms, that's all these Fed members. Like, if you're wondering why, like, who are these Fed members? Most of the time, they're heads of regional banks. And then Jerome Powell is the chairman, so he's kind of, and then the Federal Reserve is kind of like the leader of all of them, the Federal Reserve influences policy around all these banks, and so that's what it is.
Thanks for the explanation.
Sure.
It was very helpful.
Yeah, there's no supreme authority. Maybe Godfather wasn't the right term. The federal, it's not that Powell is the Godfather. It's more so that the Federal Reserve is what I should have clarified.
Basically, the regional banks are subsidiaries of the main Federal Reserve, kind of.
Kind of, but they, the real reason is like the Federal Reserve will influence policy around them. Yeah, Jerome Powell is leaving next month in May. Yeah, I was trying to make it in really simple terms, and I think the Godfather reference. Yeah, again, he doesn't really. He's not their leader, so to speak. He's just the chairman. He's basically like the therapist. Hey, what's up, Faye? Yeah, beehives or I send it back. All right, guys. So, U.S. Treasury is asking select private credit firms to provide info about recent performance and relationships with banks and insurance firms. This could be Morgan Stanley that made the market pop here, I think. Yeah, look at Morgan Stanley go. So Morgan Stanley's actually running up a little bit. It's a little late, but again, they posted 343 versus 298 EPS. Revenue of net revenue of 20.5 billion. They expected 19.7 billion. So better than expected EPS and revenue. Institutional investment banking revenue showed up at 2.12 billion. They expected 2.04, so better there. FICC sales and trading revenue 3.36, expected 2.89, so better there. Provision for credit losses 98 million. They expected 80.2. So a little bit of a delayed response here for Morgan Stanley, but Morgan Stanley is pushing up now, and this could be what's boosting things. Here's the S&P. What about the Dow? Dow's jumping up a little bit. I will attack this level, but right now the Nasdaq is very flat here, guys. So we're kind of chopping sideways around this previous closing price, around the volume weighted average price. I am watching this range here. I am watching this range. We'll see if we could actually break out of this range. Yeah, Warsh doesn't like QE, but rate cuts might be a thing. What's up, Sage? I don't get how this stuff is so bullish. Yeah, we're around all-time highs here, guys. We'll see what we get, but we are around all-time highs. It's an important day. An important day. We'll see if we break it. That's the big story of the day. Do we break all-time highs right now? And in fact, I'm going to do a poll here today, and that's going to be the question on the poll is, do we break all-time highs today? What's a good one? We'll do this the NASDAQ. No, the NASDAQ's, I think that's the S&P. Does the ES, does the SPX break all-time highs?
Yeah, like you said, the NASDAQ might be too much of a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, the NASDAQ's just a little farther away, I would say, percentage-wise. I'll have to go check the percentages, but yeah, that's right. Again, I think that's the interesting one. Does the S&P break all-time highs today? I think it's close. You know, it's definitely closer. It's around 7K. It's over 7,000 now. And so there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance, and we can get up there. Speaking of this, though, Nasdaq just jumped up again. Very, very sideways range this Wednesday morning, though. Very, very sideways range. The ceasefire is set to end April 21st. Companies come out with stellar numbers, market goes down. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time it's because the company's pushing up leading into the earnings report. So if the company's going like this, and this is just the NASDAQ, just to clarify, but if the company's going like this, or this is the S&P, leading into earnings, a lot of the time, even if they do good numbers, they're still going to drop after earnings because people start taking profit from the move up they made previously. Basically, the earnings result was baked in already, especially in regards to AI microchip related stocks. Those typically have a really strict scenario if they want to beat and raise. And so even if they do good, like here's an example. Here's ASML leading into its earnings report this morning. It's had a pretty good time leading into its earnings report. And so a lot of the time, again, markets are pricing it in, and then the earnings drop, and then we correct a little bit just on profit taking. Sometimes I'll buy those dips, though. Getting a little kickback from you, Britt.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's just the top dog. Yeah, kind of. Feel like there's typically a pullback before break of new highs too. Maybe, yeah. I mean, look, we've been mostly sideways today. Like the NASDAQ really has not moved at all this morning. The last time the NASDAQ really moved, outside of this, the trading has been basically terrible this morning. Like here's the trading today. here's what we did yesterday. And so we've been very flat, very rangy leading into this. Now, maybe we'll break out of this range, but so far we've been kind of slow this morning. We're technically green on the day, but we are almost exactly where we closed and opened back up during the evening future session. So again, here's where we closed and opened. Here's where we are now. So we moved up and down slightly. The president spoke a little while this morning, but Iran is stating that if one party breaks a deal, the other is free to do the same. Iran FM spokesperson says level and type of nuclear enrichment is negotiable. I think we covered that already.
Yeah, I kind of find that first statement to be pretty self-evident. I mean, if one side breaks it, whatever.
Yeah, they're basically saying this is just kind of like I would say this is kind of like a threat in this comment. Like what they're trying to say is, you better not break the ceasefire because then we're gonna do the same thing. You know, basically, like they're not talking about them breaking the ceasefire. They're talking about us breaking the ceasefire. They're basically saying, hey, if you break the ceasefire, we're free to do the same, and there'll be punishment, you know, or whatever. There'll be a response, basically. It's kind of a threat, a little bit of a threat.
Well, it's also kind of a duh.
Yeah.
Not what you said, what they said.
No, I know what you meant. Yeah, you're good. I didn't take offense to it. I'm probably the top 3 least offense-taking person out there right now.
What's the ELF and the KRE ETFs? I was asking to check that. I just don't know what it is.
You know, I cover all of this stuff. ELF. Well, there's ELF Beauty, but I don't think he's talking about that. I don't really like ELF Beauty either. As a stock. I don't know what that. It's down some, but I think he meant XLF is what it looks like he meant. And yeah, XLF is an ETF. Let me see. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I get them mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah, XLF is a bank ETF. That's right. Yeah. And again, here's Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley reacting well to its earnings report, BDPS and revenue. So. I'd use a bunch of different news sources, to be honest. People ask me this all the time. I mean, I always tell them the same thing. It's a little slower today, though. But the president did speak this morning. And this is what he said. Again, just to restate some of this. He said he will fire Powell if he does not resign next month. Again, he said he will fire Powell if he does not resign next month.
I don't believe it. He's never fired anybody.
Britt, you're fired. All right, for not knowing. No. Yeah, basically, to understand the context of this, over the past few years, Trump has wanted lower interest rates. And we've cut interest rates over the past few years. We cut them 3 times at the end of last year. I think we cut 100 basis points the year before. We cut 75 at the end of last year in 2025. Now, he wants rates lower again. Because, again, presidents want lower interest rates because it stimulates the economy, and then they can say, look at what I have done. You know, look at these low interest rates. Like, look at this thriving economy. Is basically why he wants lower rates. Like, look at these job numbers here. I'm creating jobs, guys. You know, that's basically what he wants to say. So he's really pressuring Powell to cut interest rates. But there's been some inflation worries. We've been above the inflation target, and it's one of those situations in which we're kind of neutral, I would say, in that regard. But again, prior to this Iran conflict, I would push for rate cuts because I think outside of this Iran conflict, the labor market has looked a little sketchy. Now, I still think it's okay. It's not like a recession sketchy, but it's looking a little sketchy. And so small rate cuts are generally fine, I would say, versus like QE, which is much more inflationary. But anyways, going back to the point here, Trump has been really getting into it with Powell. It's gotten really political. Here, I'm still getting a lot of kickback from you, Britt.
Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's breathing potentially here. Maybe move the mic a little bit farther away.
How's that?
Chat might not even be able to hear it. Yeah, that's better. It's basically gone.
Okay.
But anyways, so it's gotten really political, you know, and people following the story have made it really political as well. I'm not very political here though, guys, but you know, whether you want rate cuts or whether you're worried about inflation. Here, now I'm getting it again. Weird.
Again,
do you have some? Is your AC on, or is the air thing on?
The air purifier is not on. My AC is on, but it's been on every day that we've been streaming.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine as long as it doesn't bother the chat. The music might drown it out anyway. It could be breathing though, is what I think it is. But yeah. Point is, Trump wants rate cuts. Powell hasn't given him enough of rate cuts, even, you know, and so it's created this dynamic, as well as Powell has been getting charged by the Department of Justice with misrepresenting the Fed building renovations. And this has been going on for a while now, to a point in which the president's basically going after Powell. Some people say it's a political move to try to pressure Powell into lowering interest rates earlier. There's been a lot of talk about Fed independence here with everything going on. And it's created this weird dynamic. It really has created this weird dynamic where Trump seems to genuinely hate Powell. And Powell, just to put it out there, Trump is the one who appointed Powell as Fed chairman. And so now Warsh is supposed to step in, but now they're saying they're not going to confirm Warsh until the Department of Justice subpoena is done. We do have some data today at 8:30. We have the New York Empire State Manufacturing data and import exports. But then we did get news that the Warsh confirmation hearing is set, I believe, for... It is set. I'm not sure when it was. I think it was next month. But so it looks like Warsh is going to get confirmed regardless. I don't think Trump will fire Powell necessarily here. The only way he would fire Powell is if they don't confirm Warsh. And Trump can't specifically fire Powell anyway, technically, because they're independent of each other, really, you know. But it's just created this kind of interesting dynamic that a lot of people have been paying attention to.
Can you hear anything now? I turned my air conditioner off.
No, I can't hear anything. Yeah, stop breathing, Britt. What the heck, man?
I know. Apparently the whole chat.
Whoa. I'm sorry. The NASDAQ just jumped here. Look at this move on the NASDAQ here. Look at it. If I put up... look at this jump right here. Wow. Dang. We jumped and then we completely retraced back down. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Something just happened. I don't know if it's Trump speaking. Let's see. But we went all the way up to 26.45 and then retraced all the way back down to under 26 just now here. Look at that candle. It's a real candle.
Wow.
Let's see if we got any news coming out.
Yeah, that has to be news driven. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but...
Yeah, it looks like it is. Bank of America said, I don't think this is what it is, but the Bank of America CFO did say they have not experienced any material losses on private credit in the conference call. This has to be Trump on Fox. It's the only thing that I would think would move markets like this right now. It has to be Trump on
He's
Fox.
doing the interview right now?
I think so, yeah. On Fox Business. And so I think this has to be something driven by that, I would assume. That was a weird candle, although I don't see anything on it, and it happened on both platforms, so it has to be a real candle. But I'm looking for news here regarding this to see what the reason for this is. Let's see if the chat knows. Baron went long. Yeah, I mean, look, we went up a lot. We went up to 26.45, and now we're back down under 26 today.
Wild.
Yeah, that was a jump. That was a crazy jump. Yeah, I'm looking on hold on. I'm looking on FBN. Should have this somewhere. It's got to be something like that. Yeah, it's got to be something like that. Hold on. There's a Trump tweet. Let me check tweets. You're right. Let me check tweets. This is a big jump. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, yeah. This is what it is. All right. I found it. It is Trump just tweeted this. China is very happy that I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I am doing it for them. Also, and for the world. The situation will never happen again. They have agreed to not send weapons to Iran. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks. We are working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? Question mark, question mark, question mark. But remember, we are very good at fighting. If we have to, far better than anyone else. And I heard this in Trump's voice. Donald Trump, U.S. president. And so that is what just went on. I think markets reacted to this because he said this. I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. So markets are like, ooh, nice. You know, big move in markets all the way up to 26,045. And then we completely retrace back down. And this sometimes happens with Trump tweets where they read the first half and they're like, hey, things are good. Strait of Hormuz is opening back up. And then they read the rest of the tweet, and then the rest of the tweet's kind of escalating, and then they're like, oh, back down in market. So that's what happened here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like a good policy for him, if he would just leave off like the last sentence of every tweet, I think things would go a lot smoother for him.
Oh, 100%, Brett, 100%. Carol's trying to protect me from the espresso. You didn't get the coffee machine working, did you? It's out. It had a good life, I think. But it's time to replace it with something better and newer. I did. I didn't pour a lot. I poured like this much.
Oh, you'll need a percolator.
Huh. The market is percolating, Britt. We're over 26,000 right now. We're over 26K. Again, the president tweeted this. China is very happy that I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I am doing it for them also and the world. This situation will never happen again. They've agreed to not send weapons to Iran. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks. We are working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? But remember, we are very good at fighting. And if we have to, far better than anyone else.
Man, that last part was just unnecessary. I think.
We do American Jiu-Jitsu over here, you know?
I don't do jiu-jitsu. I do Rex Kwon Do.
Yeah. As long as it's not a keto, I allow it. You know, I'll allow it, Britt. As long as it's not a keto. But yeah, that is the news.
How often are the odds on rate hikes or rate cuts updated? Like the ones you showed us yesterday?
Daily. And all the time. It depends on what's going on.
Okay. I was just curious what those might be showing right now.
Yeah, I see somebody asking about oil here. Oil is falling down. Oil's now technically red on the day. It's at 91.50 right now for WTI crude. So it's at 91.50s. It is starting to go back down. There's a lot of things that are making people optimistic. Those things are today, the president basically saying we're going to get a deal done with Iran most likely, and all this other stuff. The tweet, the Strait potentially opening back up. People are just optimistic. Markets are around all-time highs. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500 is up to 70.10 right now, 70.10. So very close to all-time highs here. And yeah, markets are looking pretty interesting here on this tweet news here. The markets jumped on that tweet news. So yeah. IMMP. I'm not a big penny stock trader. I'm just not. Make your money, sir, in penny stocks, but most of the time penny stocks, like IMMP, somebody's mentioning, this is just not my thing, man.
Just doesn't hold your interest.
Well, this is what I originally traded when I first got into day trading. Some of you guys have been around long enough to remember that. It was a long time ago, but this is what I first started trading. And so what I know about this market is that there's a lot of gurus who act like it's easier than it is to sell you courses. Even if they act like, what they do is they'll mention 5 or 6 potential names, and then they'll isolate 1 or 2 of them that actually go well, and they'll ignore the other 4 or 5 that they mentioned, which means that like the likelihood of you riding this move up is lower. And then they'll isolate the one that does well, ignore the other 4 or 5 that they announced, and then act like they called it, when really I can name 10 stocks, guys, and if one of them runs, be like, see, I called this, guys, look at that.
They just cherry pick from their guesses.
Right, exactly. And the reality of these stocks is that they can get halted, resume 80% lower. Like, they can have all the sketchy stuff go on. They're super low float most of the time. They're really manipulatable, and it's just hard to find consistency in it. And people end up, like, they want to believe the courses are true. They want to believe that it's easy to day trade. They want to believe that they can get started and have $800 and turn it into 500K or whatever it is. And so they're more likely to ignore the red flags of what they're doing. And sometimes they get mad at me like I'm the messenger here. But that's the reality of these, unfortunately. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just suck at penny stock day trading. That might be true. But, again, I've been around it, and I understand kind of how that market moves. And there's just risks. There's just risks, man. I mean, there's risks in everything, though. Maybe I'm just terrible at penny stock day trading. That's definitely possible. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like we're going to have talks in Pakistan over the next few days. Again, Trump said China is happy I'm opening the Strait of Hormuz. And that's probably, realistically, if we get the Strait back open, that's probably true. Like, you got to understand, the U.S. doesn't rely on oil that comes out, that goes through the Strait. China does. And so it's a situation in which, you know, we are insulated a little bit more from it. I mean, we're still going to deal with higher prices because it's going to influence all prices throughout the world.
But we have the oil.
But we have the oil. China is the one that really relies on the Strait. And so this isn't necessarily wrong. China, if we do open the Strait, which again is a big if, this is probably true, and they're going to be happy about it.
Yeah, well, I don't know about like China specifically, but you looked up the numbers the other day, and I think you said that 84% of the oil used in Southeast Asia comes through the Strait.
Sorry, Brett, I ADHD. What did you say?
I said I may be incorrect in my memory, but and I don't specifically know about China, but I think you looked it up the other day and you said that something like 84% of the oil used or consumed in Southeast Asia comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, no, it's like 80% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. So it's like 80% of the world. Chinese oil is something like that. Chinese imports approximately 40% of its oil and 30% of its LNG through the Strait. So I don't know if it's 80%. I know it's around 80% of the world's oil, but China's roughly 45 to 50% dependent on the Strait of Hormuz oil, is what I think it is.
Okay.
Or 20% of the world's oil, not 80%. Yeah, no, sorry, brain fart here, guys. Again, 20% of the world's oil, not 80%. 80% would be chaos. We'd have a lot more heat right now for everything going on. 20% of the world's oil. Sorry, chat corrected me. You guys are actually right. My bad. I've said this many times that it's 20%. Again, brain fart. My apologies. NASDAQ up to over 26,000 here. 20%. Over 26,000 now. Yeah, 80% would be freaking chaos. I'm sorry. Yeah, NASDAQ over 26,000. We are getting into this high volume area of the volume profile here, though. So here's the high volume areas. Point of controls right here. We're going to watch it, see what happens. I know my coffee machine's broken, bro. I can't have more coffee today. I blame the coffee, guys. I blame the coffee. I ended up pouring espresso today. Carol, you gotta appreciate the wife caring about you. Carol came in here, and she was trying to make sure I didn't pour a whole cup of espresso, which is like 50 milligrams per ounce of caffeine. She was trying to make sure I didn't pour only espresso in this mug and drink it like it's coffee.
And end up with the jitters.
Yeah, you can see how much faith she has in my intelligence here today. I can respect it, but yeah.
She's a very caring person, you know?
Yeah, she is. Or maybe she just thinks I'm stupid. That's possible, too.
She cares that you're stupid.
She's trying to say, hey, John's dumb. You know, let's go ahead and make sure he didn't pour only espresso in his coffee mug this morning and then drink it like it's a cup of coffee. Yeah. Again, so we made this move on the Truth Social tweet. I want to trade, guys. I do. There's just not much to trade right now. We do have some economic data going live at 8:30 as well today, guys. So we do have some economic data going live. Oh, no, she does. Yeah. She's a good wife. Yeah, she tries.
Carol's an awesome person. I can attest to that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta argue with them a little bit over stuff. The other day, I went to go jumpstart my mom's car. And Britt knows I had some crappy cars growing up, dude. So I'm like, I know how to jumpstart.
Oh, yeah.
I know how to change a tire. And so I go to my mom's and I'm like, hey, let me do this, mom. Like, let me jumpstart your car. And my mom was putting the negative and the positive and the positive and the negative, and both of them were arguing with me about it. And I was like, nope, this is the negative port. It has a big negative sign next to it. It's the smaller one. That's the negative one. The positive one is bigger. It has a positive sign next to it. Maybe this is what's wrong with your car to begin with, is you've been jumping it backwards. But, you know, they argued with me.
Backwards to begin with.
Yeah, eventually they figured it out, you know. Because I care about them too, you know. I help them jumpstart cars. Carol makes sure I'm not stupid and I don't pour only espresso into my mug here today.
I've got to say, worse than the cars was the used tires.
Oh yeah, I had used tires growing up. My dad helped me. I'm not gonna act like he didn't, because like,
he totally did.
Parents help your kids, right? Like I help my kids, but he did not. Like, it was, you know,
$30 tires. You know,
I appreciated the tires. The tires would last a couple weeks and then they go out again, and that's cool. You know,
to be fair, to be fair, you pinched several of them on a curb.
Yeah, I did. I probably wasn't the best with it. Anyways, NASDAQ now under 26,000. Look at CoreWeave, guys. So CoreWeave actually just made a pretty big jump here. So CoreWeave stock just jumped up to 115. It's not a huge jump, but something might have gone on with CoreWeave. I'm expecting they announce something related to this here. Let's see. Okay, so Iran's, man, I feel like I don't know. Let me know if I'm pronouncing this right. Iran's Bagay for now is extending the ceasefire. He said, for now, extending the ceasefire is not approved. Extending the ceasefire is not approved for now. And the ceasefire is set to end the 21st. I don't see any CoreWeave news going on right now.
What's the spelling of the name?
Baghaei.
All right, I don't know.
Right, that sounds like what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm right. But
I can usually make a guess on those kinds of things, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have any idea on that one.
No, this one's weird. All right, guys. So again, CoreWeave did just pop up here. The NASDAQ is still very, very quiet, very, very sideways, very, very neutral here. Not really doing too much. NASDAQ now coming back down a little bit here. We're still in the heavy area of the volume profile where we might get the most chop. I'm not really trying to... I'm not even going to respond to some of these chats. Bitcoin is up. Just talk about Bitcoin today. Oh, wait. The NASDAQ... Is this a tweet? Look. Another big candle that was retraced here. Let me check tweets.
This time in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it went down this time, but we kind of popped right back higher. Look how choppy. Iran's 4 minutes... yeah, I mean, I just covered this a couple minutes ago. But Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson says reports about the ceasefire extension are not confirmed, according to state media. Not confirmed. We did have a pretty big down. Like, it happened in Bitcoin as well. Like, look, here's crypto right here. So here's Bitcoin. So it happened in Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin is down a little bit from where it was yesterday. It's at 74. Still doing okay, though. Still holding some of these gains. But Bitcoin had another candle wick that looked very similar to this just now. And now we're actually up here. Look at the push. So let me check NVIDIA. Oh. Maybe they're not confirming the ceasefire.
I mean, wasn't that just a proposal from Turkey to begin with, though?
Well, no, the ceasefire... Oh, you talking about...
No, I mean the extension.
Yeah. Yes. But again, reports about the ceasefire extension are not confirmed, according to Iran state media. And so that's the news that's circulating. We said it here early, about a couple minutes before the reaction to it, but now it's broadly circulating. Okay. 2,000 jobs are said to be cut by the BBC, according to the Financial Times as well. CoreWeave did just pop here. Salesforce is unveiling a new way to measure AI productivity, pushing back on Silicon Valley's fixation on token maxing. The belief that consuming more AI tokens signals real work, according to Axios. Okay, so Jane Street is investing $1 billion into CoreWeave and UPS spending plans, is the news driving CoreWeave up. I knew there was something. That was a catalyst-driven move if I've ever seen one on CoreWeave. Look at this. So CoreWeave did pop on that news. That's something going on here with it. But that is the catalyst.
They're investing $1 billion in what aspect?
No, Tanner, you're absolutely right. I would buy used they would have a lot of the tread still on them. This song is kind of scary, bro. I don't even know what
Sounds like something from a Blade fight scene.
I know, dude. That's why I always say it feels like I'm fighting vampires in the 90s, you know, in that song. All right, so we are down here a little bit. Listen, if we start to break down, I might actually short. I do think it's a little risky right now, though, just because we're really choppy. But if we can get under some of these, if we can get under like 80, I would say I'd probably short. If we can get under 80, maybe 75, I might short. But I do think it's a news-driven market right now, especially this morning with all the stuff going on. We do have some data today, though, guys. So we do have some. I don't think we have import-export data and the Empire State Manufacturing Index data today at 8:30. Not big data. Market is starting to turn down here, though. Maybe on the ceasefire not being confirmed. Again, the U.S. has not agreed to an extension of the ceasefire, according to Axios. All right. Yeah, the U.S. has not agreed to an extension of the ceasefire. There's continued engagement between the U.S. and Iran to reach a deal. Markets are markets are digesting this as negative, though. Look at this drop. So we are starting to see some movement here. I got to check to make sure nothing else is being said. I'm not taking trades at the point of control.
I mean, I know it's hard to read sentiment, but it doesn't seem like that news should have caused that much of a downturn.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, honestly. You just got to watch a bunch of different things. Could be stock. Okay, so Trump says on Iran, quote, "We could take out their bridges, power plants in 1 hour." Still speaking on Fox Business. Again, he said we could take out their bridges, power plants in 1 hour, end quote. That is probably what's driving this. I said 75 here, but again, this is a news-driven market. It's a little bit sketchier right now. And markets are popping up big and then going down big. And so, again, I'm trading futures right now. But again, Trump just talked again on Fox Business News. He said we could take out their bridges and power plants in 1 hour. In 1 hour.
Even if it's true, you don't have to say it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Trump has a problem with specifically just being quiet, dude. You know,
yeah.
Be quiet, man. I'm not. Listen, people make it political. I think just objectively, even people that support him, you know, are gonna say the same thing. Like, dude, just chill out for a little bit, man. Like, don't post on social media so much.
Yeah.
All right, I might short this right here, but it's risky. It's definitely risky.
No risk, no reward.
Yeah. Should I short this, chat? Let me know. Should I short, yes or no, in chat right now? You guys are my guide. All right. You guys are my guide. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are my guide. Should I short right here? Y'all are like my Madam Ruby from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, okay? Y'all are my guide. Should I short right now? Let me know. Yes or no? Yes, all in short. No, don't short. No.
I can't remember those movies very much.
Yes. You're not going to listen anyway. That's probably true. No. Just shorted. Yes, no. Kind of mixed here. I can respect the mixed thesis. We're starting to get back up into that volume profile, though, so I don't really like it, honestly. 200 exponentials here. Yes, no. Short banks. Okay, let's draw. Chats. No, don't short. So I'm going to call this chats buy. Man, I'm bad at this. Y'all know y'all can read it, okay? That's y'all's buy right there.
Still just looks funny to me.
That's y'all's buy right there, dude. If we go down, you know, y'all will never hear the end of that. I'm just documenting this for historical purposes.
For posterity, huh?
Well, you know, if the shoe fits.
The shoe fits, find the other shoe.
I said short also. Thank you. Short then long. Wow. So far, guys. It's honestly pretty consistent. It's really pretty consistent. I'm like, hey, should I short here? Chat's like, no, don't do it. We drop. I'm like, hey, should I go long here? Chat's like, no, don't do it. We go up. I honestly think there might be some people actually watching this stream where they're genuinely like, hey, if the chat tells me not to do something, do it. If they say to do something, don't do it. I
mean, there have been a couple times where that would have been sound advice.
Yeah. Yeah, ASML's still falling back down here.
But hindsight's 2020, so.
Yeah. Iran's foreign ministry says no specific date has been set for talks yet. U.S. has not agreed to an extension. There's continued engagement between U.S. and Iran to reach a deal. Yeah, this has all been said before, so we've already covered this stuff.
Check in. You're not getting any feedback from me, right?
No.
Okay.
Gonna break up too many shorts pot into Iran's news. Where's chat's stop loss? I don't know, but here we are again today, guys. Can you sit on hands? Yep. I should have shorted, man. I should have shorted. Again, Iran's foreign minister says no specific date has been set for talks yet. I should have shorted. Yeah, I'm just messing with you guys. Of course, I have to troll y'all a little bit at least. But I'm just saying here.
Well,
really, what I will say is these are actual entries I wanted. So I think my entries have just been on point here. Like where I've wanted to enter. This is the 200 exponential moving average right here. And so that's why I wanted to enter short there. You know, but if I can use it as a time to shame chat, I mean, I guess I will, but
worth the sacrifice, I guess.
Right. That's right. Okay, the president tweeted earlier about, just to put this out there, he said, China is very happy that I am permanently opening the straits. I am doing it for them also and the world. This situation will never happen again. They've agreed to send weapons. They've agreed not to send weapons to Iran. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks. We are working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? But remember, we are very good at fighting if we have to, far better than anyone else. U.S. president. Check.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No one's better than us.
Yeah, that's the voice I heard it on. Um, yeah, then we don't really have any other news coming out right now, so. Okay, so another potential courtroom battle looms between Trump and the Fed. The administration has so far not succeeded on its subpoenas of firing Lisa Cook. So Lisa Cook one is still there. Again, breaking news over the last 20 minutes. Iranian and U.S. officials lean back on an extension to the current U.S. ceasefire, which is due to expire April 22nd. And so they have both claimed that there's no extension in place yet, which I think maybe means they're going to try to, I think this is obvious, but I think it probably means they're going to try to get a deal done before the current one ends, which would be sometime in the next week, right? We have 1 week left of the ceasefire. And so we are trading Trump posts. Yeah.
It would be something else if the conflict ended before the ceasefire. I don't think that's going to happen, but it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, like I said, if you told me to short, if you agreed with my short idea, y'all are all made men and women in here, you know. Made men and women in here, you know. Cato, made man right now. I'm still short K-Dog, made man, you know. Cato, made man. You know, y'all are like Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas, you know. Oh wait. Look, we're still breaking down here. We're at 960s right now. All right, Bessent says he understands that if the Fed needs to wait on rate cuts, eventually the Fed will cut more. All right, guys. ASML still cracking lows here. So, look, I'm going to remove the attention away from the chat's really bad non-short idea. Look at ASML here. ASML is falling all the way back down here. It's at 1446. Yeah, just to put this into perspective, ASML makes up 1.5 to 2% of the NASDAQ. So it's not small in terms of its percentage weight in the indexes that we're trading. And ASML just broke lows of the day here. It's at 1444. So NASDAQ heading down. S&P dropping slightly, but the S&P still green on the day. The Dow is actually doing all right. It hasn't really dropped that much at all. NASDAQ is tech heavy. So we're seeing dips in the NASDAQ. Part of this is driven by ASML. CoreWeave gave back all its gains. NVIDIA is falling down with it as well. You can see NVIDIA here moving down also. Hey, what's up, Tevin?
Just since you mentioned it earlier.
ASML had earnings this morning, is why it's dropping. So ASML had earnings. All right, what were you saying, Britt?
It wasn't important. I was just going to say, just since you mentioned it earlier, Goodfellas or Casino? Which one's better?
Goodfellas is the superior movie. Casino's good, though. But Goodfellas is just a better movie, you know?
It's more fun.
Yeah.
You know, in the first half.
It's a better story. It's a better story. Like it's a good story. Casino, I mean, you get a little bit more stressed out watching, too. And so,
yeah,
Goodfellas is just a better movie. You know? All right, but yeah, NVIDIA falling down. Apple falling down a little bit, but not as much. But looks like this is mostly microchip related dips. Yeah. Well, it's probably because ASML pushed up so much leading into its earnings.
What's gold doing?
Gold on the day is probably down on the day, yeah. So it's at 48.30s. It's up a lot yesterday, though, with everything else. So gold pushed up a decent amount yesterday. And now it kind of filled about half of that gap, though. So gold's at 48.30s. Silver is at 79. Silver actually had a maybe a stronger move up yesterday than gold did. Silver's almost back up to $80 an ounce.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in both of those. I've said it several times, but it's just the truth. I'm kind of like a crow. I like shiny.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Hey, dude. My son legitimately beat me at ping pong yesterday.
Love you.
I love you. Have a good day, dude.
Oh, so you let me win.
I did not let you win, bro. Honestly, it was a freak occurrence. It's never to happen again.
Love you.
I love you, dude. Have a great day. Yeah, my son doesn't get video games during the week. And so he hit me with, hey, Dad, if I beat you at ping pong, I get to play games. And I'm like, sure, because it would never happen. You know, I beat him once. He was like, hey, let's go again. And like, I don't know if I was just choking there or like a fluke occurrence happened, and he beat me like 7-10. You know,
What?
I think I started to get nervous. He genuinely beat me too. I really didn't let him win. So not really happy about it, but he got video games. I can't really go back on it, you know.
Wait,
All right, so
he gets
again,
in for the never mind.
Treasury Secretary Bassett on the economy and war impact says this quarter will be slower than it was. Again, on the economic war impact, this quarter will be slower. He said would be ready to cut rates, have an open mind to more cuts since waited longer. He's on CNBC right now. He said gasoline prices will start coming down quickly. Again, he also said the U.S. has not officially agreed to extend the ceasefire. Iran requested the release of its frozen assets in discussions with the U.S., but no agreement was reached, according to state media. So, getting some breaking news coming out now about all that stuff. Markets are still red so far. Yesterday was very green, though, so we're net green over the last few days for sure.
I'm curious because we have a pretty large test sample here. What kind of gas prices are you guys getting? Around the country and around the world.
Yeah, what does gas cost in your area? I know up north it's a little bit more expensive. Here it's like, let me make sure. Yeah, here
It's
like
in the mid threes for like lowest octane.
Right, that's what it is here. It's like $3.80 a gallon. Just in, President Trump said it will fire if he doesn't resign. Yeah, that came out like an hour ago, pew. 479, 350s, 389s, diesel, yeah. 410s, 550, 980s.
Yeah, I'm curious about I'm obviously curious about the U.S., but I'm also very curious about the abroad locations.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, so we do have some data coming out. Bassett said micro data points on the economy have been great. Again, it says markets tell me there has been no transfer from oil prices to inflation expectations. Has there not been? I mean, what did CPI show up as? Wasn't it like 1 point? Hold on, what was CPI? Or no, it was like point.
CPI, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember what
0.9%, 3.3% annually, 0.9%. Yeah, so headline went up almost a full percentage point. But again, if we get this conflict settled, I'll say it once and I'll say it again, guys. And this is the big thing. The question is not, does this conflict end? The question is, in what context does this conflict end regarding the Strait of Hormuz, right? Will the Strait of Hormuz go back to the pre-conflict state of oil flow is the real question. And I think that is going to be the breaking question in regards to inflation and really the long-lasting effects of this conflict overall. I think this conflict will inevitably end, obviously. But when it does, what's the flow of oil going through the Strait of Hormuz look like? Does it look like it did before this conflict, or do we have different conditions? Is really going to be the end, big factor, I think here,
I don't know how long it'll take. I think conditions will not. I think conditions will look different than they did before, but I think the flow will be the same.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a desire for that. Obviously, obviously people want the flow to go back to how it was, and when they want it to happen, and when it's kind of a necessity in terms of the world, in regards to inflation and oil, I think we're gonna try to find ways to get it done. But
I do too.
Big if. Oh
man,
tension will remain for a while. Yeah. All right, guys. So Besson is still speaking. He said the economy will slow down this quarter due to the impact of the war. We said that like 5 minutes ago. Market indicates oil price changes have not affected inflation. He might be talking about long-term inflation expectations, is what I'm assuming here. Also, guys, if you haven't already, help support your boy here in this channel. Check out Lucid. This is a Lucid funded account here. Maybe the chat will redeem themselves. The NASDAQ is starting to push up a little bit, but this is a Lucid funded account. Lucid, great way to learn. Most day traders lose money, guys. This is just objectively true. Most day traders are going to lose. And so if you fund your own account, you're probably going to lose it. Because most day traders do, right? That's just what happens. You can always try Lucid out, though. Lucid gives you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test, and you're risking something, right? Like you have to pay, like there's a challenge fee and eval fee. You're risking something, but it's not much, especially not compared to thousands of dollars you risk if you fund your own account. 60 million plus traders are paid. 60 million plus paid to traders. 50,000 traders use Lucid. Average payout time is 15 minutes. I did a payout last week. It took 1 minute, literally 1 minute to get my money in the payout. 90-10 split, no payout windows, clear and simple rules. End of day drawdowns, 10-to-1 micro scaling, which I personally love. No hard breach rules and more. Again, if you use my coupon code, you get the Lucid Flex for $70. $70 right now. And I think you get 50% off your first couple with Lucid as well here. So a great way to learn. Most day traders lose. They are an affiliate of mine. Of course, I am biased in their favor, but genuinely useful. You can use my coupon code on all major prop firms. BGT at checkout will get you the max discount. BGT, beginner trading, is definitely not what it stands for. BGT at checkout. Let me know what it does stand for, guys. We have a couple minutes left until we have some economic data coming out. Again, there is some economic data dropping today. It's not big. It might not move markets, but we'll see. All right, we have just specifically on Wednesday morning today at 8:30, we have the import-export price data. We have the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index going live. So little gauge of manufacturing. We got import-export data as well. We'll see what that looks like. We'll see how much it moves in markets. But we'll cover it live here at 8:30 here in about 3 minutes here, chat. So stick around.
Bad guy trading. That's it. That's what it stands for.
Bad guy. Like I said, I'm the Chael Sonnen of trading is what it is.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to put it in sub-only mode, guys. So you better subscribe if you haven't. We appreciate it. Britain's Got Talent. I like it. I feel with my last name London, I represent the Brits here. I feel like they would say the same thing. They'd be like, you know what? British guy? Nah. John, his last name's London. He represents us now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run for office.
I feel like you have an atavistic accent,
Yeah. John from Louisiana, he represents us now. NASDAQ at 976 here, 976. Yeah, I'm watching the breaking news here, but it's mostly Bassett speaking right now. He said, we want to avoid regulatory arbitrage, unsure if WARSH will be approved by May 16th, keeping track of private credit risks, aims to ensure retail gas stations are fair. All right, here we go. We have 2 minutes left until this data drops. Let's see what we get. We might get good stuff. I don't know. Again, we did a poll early this morning. 61% say yes. 61% say yes, we do break all-time highs on the S&P 500 today.
I'm definitely a yes man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could.
I'm just choosing to be optimistic, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. I was actually born in London. I award you honorary keys to the city. I accept it. I accept that. You know, I'm gonna put that on my wall now. You know, Sam's honorary keys to London. You know. Yeah, I saw London in a book one time, and so I'm awarding myself honorary keys to London just from that experience. I feel like I've got enough expertise to do it. 45 seconds left. 45 seconds left. You know what's really good coming out of England? And Mobland. Great show. Great show.
Dude, that was an awesome show. Tom Hardy is amazing in that.
Great show. I don't want to get too off topic, and I know I brought it up, but 30 seconds left until this data release. Let's see what happens. Empire State Manufacturing Index expected at 0.3. Last time it was negative 0.2. So, let's see what we get. We did have NBA 30-year mortgage rate show up at 6.42% versus 6.51 last time. So the 30-year mortgage rate did drop a little bit. But here we go. Empire State Manufacturing data expected at 0.3. It drops in about 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And here it is. It showed up at 11. At 11 versus 0.3 expected. Literally 11 versus 0.3 expected here. Import price index showed up at 0.8 versus 2.3 expected. But yeah, it didn't move markets at all, though. The markets did not really move at all. 11 is what it showed up as for the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. Canadian manufacturing sales also showed up at 3.6 versus 3.8 expected month over month for final. Yeah, I've seen Snatch. I've seen Rock and Rolla as well. I've seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels as well.
Good.
I love British humor. I love British humor, really. We're at 975s here on the NASDAQ, though. Again, markets didn't really move much. I didn't think they would. That's why I didn't title my stream this, is because I just didn't think they would move much from this. But yeah, we showed up. Look at this number here. We showed up at 11 for the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. Kind of a high print here. Look at this. We'll put it up in chat right now. Yeah, The Gentleman, the show, and the movies. Yeah, I like both of them. I like the show probably a little bit more because it's just more in depth.
Next a little bit of the movie, and I've never seen the show.
The show is great. You would love the show. Another Guy Ritchie show. Very good. Very good.
If you like all those kinds of movies, you should check out Layer Cake with.
I've seen Layer Cake as well with the guy from James Bond. Yeah, Daniel Craig. Yeah, I've seen it.
Really good movie.
I like British. I like British crime movies. I really do. Like I've seen most of them. Yeah. All right, guys. Nasdaq's falling down. We're at 970s. 970s here. So I don't know if we've had much of a reaction from the data. I don't think we really have. But oh yeah, the SEC did remove the PDT rule. So here's another. Pawn sent me this yesterday. So the SEC, they are removing the PDT rule. The SEC eliminates the $25,000 pattern day trading rule in retail trading. So now it's gonna go down from 25,000 requirement. They must have gotten so much heat for this. It's about to go down from 25,000 all the way down to 2,000.
What?
Yeah. So basically, the PDT rule was the pattern day trading rule. It essentially said that. Yeah, Max, you might be a little late, brother. You might be a little late, dude. We already covered the data. The data's out, sir. The data's out. We put it up in chat actually right now. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up to the stream, my friend. Also, Bassett says great stability in China relationship. Yeah, great stability in China relationship. Again, the data showed up right here, guys. Again, here. That's the data right there. Put it up on screen for you. There you go. This is it right here. Yeah, basically the pattern day trading rule basically said, hey, you cannot day trade more than 3 times a week if you have less than $25,000. An absolutely ridiculous rule. Like, why would anybody ever go through this rule? Like the dumbest rule ever. You know, oh, I need 25 grand to day trade stocks for the first time? What? Yeah, that's like, again, I'll use my same analogy. That's like saying, hey, brand new driving, 16-year-old. You know, now you can't drive in a crappy Honda. You must drive in a Rolls Royce for your first car. Makes absolutely no sense. And you could say, oh, well, you know, they shouldn't be day trading more than 3 times a week. No, day trading is, there's a lot of variance that happens with day trading. And you have to do it a lot to, you know, see an edge anyway. The more that you're able to do it, the more potential you have of learning. And so restricting somebody to only day trade 3 times a week is ridiculous. Anyways, the NASDAQ did just jump back up here. We're over 985s here. I'm watching 26,000. I think 26,000 is that big level that a lot of people are paying attention to. It's right in the high volume area of this chart, so I got to be a little more careful. But yeah. Yeah, the rule was dumb. I'm glad they got rid of it. 100%. Yeah, there's 26K. I'm looking at it. 200 exponential is right where we are now. Maybe the chat can redeem themselves. Should I redraw the chat short area? Or the chat's buy area? Yeah, they said it'll take effect. The updates will take effect by summer. Also in summer, we're going to get single stock futures. You're going to get single stock futures, which is great as well. Right? So I think starting this summer, we're going to get a lot more options to trade, which is great. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can get back up to 26,000. Yeah, so we're getting single stock futures probably sometime this summer. No offense, you seem like you're out of your element here. Where?
He's talking to me.
Oh, yeah, dude, he's the beginner part of beginner trading, you know.
Yeah, I am a little out of my element. That's kind of the point.
That's why he's here. He's learning about it. Right. That's exactly why he's here. You know, this is precisely why he's here. Fed's hammock is speaking right now. They said the key is how energy prices get to and how long they remain there for. High energy could bring inflation higher, but it also could hit growth. Thinks rates are in a good place.
It's okay, man. I'm not butthurt or anything.
Yeah.
We're all adults.
Right. Chancellor Reeves plans emergency relief for UK firms, according to the Telegraph. AMC, dude. I haven't even looked at the AMC stock in so long. CoreWeave is starting to push up here. Where's GameStop at these days, man? It's been a while since I've checked GameStop. GameStop at $24. AMC, I'm guessing, is at like $1. Yeah, I was gonna say $1.50, and that's exactly right. It's at $1.54.
Sounds like it's time to buy.
No, it's
No,
not.
I'm kidding, man.
Yeah, movie theaters in general. Number one, AMC has competition. That's number one. Number two is that the dynamic of movie theaters has just changed since 2020. You know, people don't go to movies as much. They've got some big movies that are still somewhat successful, but it's not nowhere near it was in like the 90s, 2000s. You know, it's just nowhere near that level here. You know, most movies come out digitally now. People aren't waiting for the movie to release. Usually they're waiting for it to come out digitally now. And even still, sales have not been good over the last 5 or 6 years. CoreWeave is pushing up here, though. CoreWeave did a deal with another company. It was like $1 billion, $1 billion deal earlier. I'll have to go find it. But yeah, Jane Street is investing $1 billion in CoreWeave and UPS spending plans. Is the news that is pushing CoreWeave up. But look at CoreWeave; it's now green on the day. Nvidia is at 197s here. Here's the Nasdaq. We are watching the NQ here. We are going to trade. I just need to wait for something good to trade. Here's the S&P, very close to all-time highs. Let's watch 26,000 on the Nasdaq here. We're getting pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah, honestly, I don't go to theaters very much anymore just because it seems like most movies now are effects driven. And I mean, that's cool, with the sound system and everything, but I prefer a better quality script than most of what comes out nowadays. Just my opinion.
Yeah,
That and concessions are an arm and a leg.
right. That's why everybody's here learning for you. Hey, I appreciate it, chat. U.S. sanctioned vessel Golban successfully navigated through the Strait of Hormuz, according to Tasnim. So again, U.S. sanctioned vessel Golban, Golbon, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, successfully navigated through the Strait of Hormuz, according to Tasman. Yeah, I heard Project Hail Mary was actually very good. I've heard it was very good.
What's that about?
It's got Ryan Gosling in it. It's a space movie. It's about like he needs to save the world. He's like a teacher that needs to save the world.
Okay,
I can't remember the exact premise. He needs to save the world.
No, it's cool. I think I saw a preview on that. It did look pretty decent. Give it a shot.
Yeah, my dad didn't tell me much. He was just like, "Hey, it's a good movie." My dad saw it.
Yeah, your dad's a reliable source for movies. I know he's a movie buff.
He really is. Yeah, he's definitely a reliable source. All right, guys, listen. ASML's rebounding back up from the lows, so ASML hit lows. We got to get over some of these levels for me to really be interested here. We're right at the POC on the chart. I'm not really interested in buying it. It's just too much potential choppiness that we could have here. But if we start to get over like 26,000 and holding, I might buy that. Is what I'm looking for here. Yeah, I remember the movie Sunshine.
Yeah, wasn't that George Clooney?
I thought it was the guy from Peaky Blinders. Maybe I'm mixing my movies up.
Cillian Murphy. It might have been Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. So AWS and Lumen launch integrated private cloud connectivity solutions, and Lumen becomes the first partner for AWS. All right, so yeah, we're right at 26,000. I will buy a dip if we get it, but I think we're also getting just news. So again, Iran's Tasnim did report that a U.S. sanctioned ship Golban passed through Hormuz. So, and Hammock did say, I don't see the job market as a source of inflationary pressure. Supply shocks are tricky for monetary policy. UK is providing 120,000 drones. Fed is still persistently missing on inflation target, according to Hammock. But here we go. Here's 26,000 on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we actually break this level or not.
Keith asks, are you going live for earnings?
For which earnings? I'm going live for earnings. It just depends on which. I will go live probably starting next week with Tesla. Tomorrow we do have Netflix, but Netflix usually publishes a like pre-recorded video on YouTube for their earnings call. We have TSM tomorrow morning before the open though. TSM, Pepsi, Abbott, Netflix tomorrow. The ones I go live on are usually Mag 7. And so I usually go live on I go live on Tesla, but Tesla's lost some interest lately. But I usually go live with like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia for sure, Tesla, Google, Meta, Microsoft. So it just depends. But those aren't for a week or two, I think. Tesla's next week, but after that, the other ones. So we'll be live for that one. But we did just tap over 26,000 and then dip right back down. We had the Bank of America CEO, Moynihan, saying they are down about 10,070 people, or 1,070 people from the year end 2025 through attrition. They did change the SEC rule. The SEC did change the PDT rule yesterday. They're giving banks and brokers, I think it's like a couple months to start allowing it. But yeah, by summer we should have that. So yeah, by summer we should have no PDT rule with some of these brokers. So
not to be I don't know. I think that name might have been Moynihan or Monahan, by the way.
Yeah, you might be right. Sounds like, what did you say, Monahan?
Moynihan. Yeah, I think you said Monahan. I'm not sure, but I think it's either Moynihan or Monahan. I'm not sure.
Monahan. Yeah, Monahan sounds right. All right, so we did try to get over 26,000 here, but we couldn't really get there, and we are in the high volume area of this volume profile. So yeah, 45 days is what it was. That's right. Buddy Hands is my trading name.
That struck me. That struck my funny bone for some reason, or
Yeah.
tickled my funny bone. I guess is the proper expression.
CoreWeave is starting to pop though. CoreWeave is up. We're watching a video here. It's been hard to make money today. Honestly, market's pretty flat. It's not really doing much. Also, guys, check out Apex Trader. Apex Trader still has their 90% off sale going on. 90% off. A great way to learn. These are really the cheapest accounts in the game. And so if you look at Apex Trader, you can see they recently changed their rules to be just better. They offer, and there's NASDAQ over 26,000 here. Hold on. Before I do this plug, I will cover this. NASDAQ over 26K right now. I need it to take some time. But yeah, look at Apex. End of day drawdown options, no payout denials, no MAE rule, no 5-1 risk reward rule, built-in scaling, 50% consistency. Once you're funded, if you want an end of day option, it's $30 for a 25K, $35 for a 50. I think that's the best bang for your buck. If you want intraday trail, it's even less than that. It's like $20 right now while the sale's still going on. It's $19.90 if you use my coupon code BGT. So cheap accounts, Apex is probably the right one, and they have some pretty good rules, honestly, all things considered, for how cheap the accounts are. So again, if you want to I'll put this link up if you want to help support the channel. You can use coupon code BGT at checkout. Great way to help support the channel. We did just dump back down under. It's good you got a co-host. Yeah, thank you, Universal. We're dipping down under 26,000 now, so we're not really holding here. But again, this is the high volume area, which a lot of the time price is more balanced in this area here. And so what that means is that, especially in this high volume spot right here, we could move a little bit more choppy sideways. I'm mostly targeting breaks out of that range using the volume profile. And I'll use the 200 EMA. Like, if we can get down under this 200 exponential right here, I will short again because I think it's going to look like a cup and handle. So yeah, 26,000 psychological for sure. But I mean, traders are definitely paying attention to 26,000. We're getting close to all-time highs, the S&P as well. But for now, it's just a little bit too sideways for me to be interested in attacking this, I think.
So what would you like to see before you start attacking it?
I just need to see confirmation in some way. So like a move over 26,000 and then a hold of support there, and then maybe a dip back down to retest it. I'll buy that. Potentially a breakout of this high volume area. The volume profile will be a little bit more interesting if we can. But just confirmation.
Okay. Also, I hate to do this to you, John, but I'm going to have to reveal that his main news source is in fact Nostradamus.
That is what it is, In fact, I am him. I am Nostradamus. I've been him this whole time. It's me, guys. It's me. That's me. That's my real name.
You look great for 500 years old.
Right. It's actually Nostra, last name Damas is what it is. But yeah, look, we're in the high volume area of this volume profile. So I'm not touching this right here. We'll see if we can break out of it. Yeah, thank you, Che. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. Yeah. Most investors like to think they're Nostradamus. I actually am him, and that's my name. It's not the PCE Oracle, it's the CPI Oracle. PCE, I don't think I've ever gotten that one right. Looks
Just
toppy.
a quick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Britt, be quiet, dude. Stop talking, man. Shh.
Okay.
No, you're good, dude. I'm just joking.
You won't hear from me the rest of the stream. I'm officially
You'll
done.
boycott. Yeah, I know, man. I get it. Here, what were you gonna say? Sorry, go ahead, dude.
It wasn't important. I was just gonna say, just as a quick aside, I used to watch. I watched a lot of documentaries growing up, and one I watched when I was about 13 was like an in-depth one on the writings and predictions of Nostradamus. And dude, it used to scare me. Like at 12, 13 years old, it was all doom and gloom, and like everything horrible's gonna happen. The world's ending.
I remember those documentaries, bro. They would come out and be like, the world's gonna end. Nostradamus predicted it 500 years ago, and it lines up with today, you know? And I would watch that as a kid and be like, crap, dude, the world's about to end, guys. You know?
Absolutely. And then you look at his predictions with an adult eye, and it's like they were just like broad, vague, sweeping predictions. Like, of course, some of them are going to come true.
Right. Like, there will be a bad guy in the future, guys. You know? And I would sit there and watch it and be like, look, the world's going to end. I'm not doing my homework. You know? What's the point of homework right now? The world's about to end. Nostradamus predicted it. You know?
It's over. I don't have time for biology. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Math homework. That's we're cutting that out of my life. Yeah. Market's very choppy right now, guys. We are about 40 minutes until the opening bell, though, so we have some time to trade. But this is just not good price action here. Are you guys red or green on the day? Red or green? Let me know in chat right now.
Everyone thought the world was ending in 2012. Yeah, I think the Mayans and Nostradamus were friends on Facebook.
Yeah. I think I heard Lincoln say that one time. Yeah, we don't really have any other breaking news here. Hammock's speaking right now. I would say he's neutral to hawkish. But right now, markets are just kind of sitting sideways. There's a rap quote I can make from that, but that's all right. Nothing. Red, very green, small green on an eval. It's tax day, expecting choppy to slightly down in markets. Do you think everybody's doing their taxes today versus actually trading? Big green? Hey, good for you. If you're green today, that's great. Doing better than me. I haven't traded at all. I just haven't liked any price action enough. I wanted to short at one point in this market. At a moment in time in the stream, I did want to short one time. Chat, I'm looking at you. I wanted to short. Jeremiah knows. Jeremiah knows. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys.
You're right, Pew. It was MySpace.
Yeah, let's see if we break down under 26,000 and hold now. Maybe if we get under the 200 exponential at 985, I might take a trade. If I would have shorted, I with how I trade, I wanted to short literally right here. So I wanted to short here. And so I would have definitely like scaled out of this in the profit if I would have taken the short. Yeah, I'll check it out, horse. Yeah, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. The risks for Adobe are very clear. You know, which is that AI is replacing a lot of the need for this. And again, I'll put it this way. AI, it's not just me. Like, you could tell thumbnail creators are, like, nervous. Because people are not hiring thumbnail creators anymore on YouTube. You don't need to. You know, I even see some of them leaving me comments being like, hey, I dislike your AI thumbnails. And it's like, dude, you know you're the thumbnail creator just hoping, you know. Like, sit down, sir. The reality of it is AI does it for you now. And it's not just me, right? Like, I still kind of create my own thumbnails. It's like a mix of AI and other things. Like, I'm basically building my own thumbnails. But you can see a lot of other people are going pure AI thumbnails here, right? And I'm not saying that means all of Adobe's businesses is done, but it does mean that a chunk of their business is going away. Almost completely, you know? And I think if you look at it from the perspective of right now, AI can build a pretty decent thumbnail without you needing to use Adobe for anything. And I think if you understand that and you also understand the growth pattern of AI in general, you're going to understand that within a couple years, it's going to completely replace that aspect of it. You know, in Photoshop as well, Photoshop, there's a lot of aspects of Adobe's business, and it's not like Adobe has a pretty diversified business model. And so they're still going to be okay. but they're going to lose a big chunk of business. And so I do think it makes sense that Adobe's correcting so much over the last few years. And I think people are just pricing this in. They can understand, you know.
So are they moving into other sectors, or do you know?
Well, they've tried to kind of embrace AI and say, hey, now, you know, if you use our stuff, we've added AI to our stuff now too, and that's great. But I think people are just not going to use them as much for that type of stuff anymore. As well as, like, I think thumbnail creators, digital designers, I think all of them are in trouble, really. All of them are in trouble. Writers, for sure. I think music creators, actors are in trouble eventually as well. I think creative works, like, they're in trouble. They're in trouble to a certain extent. Not completely. Like, you can always find outliers. But in general, yes, they're in trouble.
I agree. But to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe if the content is just great. But I don't really have any interest in watching or consuming content made by, you know, something that's... I mean, I know it's real, but, like, without the human element in it. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's going to become so diluted over time with it that it's going to be inevitable. You're going to have to. Right, and I say this because there's some AI songs that I don't feel good listening to, but they're good songs, right? And that's a scary thing because that means those creative works are going to start going away too. And we can try to restrict it enough to where it takes a little bit longer for that dynamic to be there. But it is inevitably going to happen where a lot of music's going to be made through AI. A lot of lyrics are going to be made through AI. A lot of books are going to be written through AI. If you even read books, if people, you know, books are still going to be used and digested for the immediate future. But we will get to a point where it's going to be encompassing. Like, we're going to have so much AI content out there, it's going to be hard not to read one eventually, or not to listen to that music eventually, or, you know, and I think with creative works in general, if we're looking at stocks and business, this is the premise of the software slump in general, and the private credit issues, right? The private credit issues are because they funded some of these software companies. You know, the private credit issues you hear, you know, repeated over and over again are because they funded some of these software companies. And now some of these software companies are in trouble. And again, you might talk to some people and they might be right, or they're saying, hey, it's time to buy the dip. We've pulled back too much. And that might be true. But I you know, there's obviously inherent risks with some of this stuff. And that's where a lot of the fears have come from in software and private credit, and more over the last, really, it's been brewing for the last year.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that. And I'm not a Luddite by any means. You know, I believe that AI has its place. And I mean, obviously, it's not like I can dictate terms, but I just don't like the idea of it taking over creative spaces. Like, I like to think of it more as I like to use it more as a tool for, like, you know, technical things and business issues and things like that. I mean, I know that's not realistic, but I just don't like it.
Yeah. No, for sure. Pew says, how could anybody artistically recreate AI? Something like the song WAP. You know, the artistic piece of our time. The artistic piece of our time, guys. The artistic piece of our time. No, but AI will. I promise you it will. You know, like, there's people that have AI girlfriends right now. You know, there's people who, this is genuinely going on, where there's people who create fake people using AI, and then they create, like, OnlyFans content with it, right? And the people that are paying for that content, some of them, or at least some of them, are oblivious to the fact that the person they're staring at is not real. This is not a real person. This is some person somewhere creating an AI person and then using that to sell you on stuff. And again, we're going to see more and more and more and more and more of that type of thing over time, unfortunately. And so, again, it's going to encompass everything. With how good it's gotten over the past 4 years, again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you extrapolate the growth pattern that we've seen over the past 5 years in AI over the next 20, it's going to get really, really good. And because of that, it's going to encompass everything we do. It's going to wrap around everything we do. So,
you think people could get, like, just tired of that, of AI saturation, and divest from certain markets or stop consuming certain things because of it?
Yes, but I also think that younger people, just like younger people with technology nowadays, right? Like, younger people are more used to technology. They're more trusting of technology, or maybe they're less trusting in certain ways, but they're more conditioned to accept technology. You know, I think that type of dynamic will continue with future generations with AI. Like, newer generations will be conditioned to accept AI in that way. And, you know, older people like us who might distrust it are just going to slowly fade out, right? And then the new generations are going to trust it more and more and accept it and be conditioned to accept it more and more, and so it's not going to matter anyway. Like, we can resist, but our generation's only a blip, and eventually the younger generations are just going to, you know,
It's
and
just
that
going to
makes
be
sense.
ingrained. It's just going to be ingrained into their culture and society.
Correct. Yes, that's right. And it's, I don't know what we can do to stop it except for, you know.
Except for literally stop it.
Yeah. Right.
Which is very unlikely. Actually,
Right.
probably impossible.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So anyways, NASDAQ's not going anywhere, guys. We're just chopping back and forth over 26,000 here. High volume profile of, or high volume area of the volume profile here. So we're not really doing anything in this. It's just too likelihood to chop. Maybe we can take some range trades out of this. But my luck would be it does something crazy as soon as I try. AI... Fed's Bar says AI should be used to promote access to credit. Raymond. You've got to be British here, Raymond. Where are you from, Raymond?
Yeah,
Based off of that,
to be fair.
yeah, right. It took me a little bit. I read it. He said AI birds are fit to be fair. I'm sitting there thinking, like, from the United States, I'm sitting there thinking, like, AI birds are fit. What does he mean by this? And then I was like, wait a minute, he's English. So by birds, he means women. And by fit, he means attractive, right? So I had to translate it into English, or to British slang. I got it. It took me a little while. I got it.
You don't watch enough Guy Ritchie films, that's why.
Yeah, I should have known immediately, but that's all right. Yeah.
Honestly, if and when it reaches the point where it's like actual individual, unique personalities with like a true sense of self, I don't think I would mind that as much. Like, I could hold a conversation with an actual thinking, feeling entity, I think,
Sure, and I was explaining this to Britt as well. Like, Britt started to learn AI and doing stuff with AI, and like, I was explaining this to him. You just don't talk to it about psychology. Like, talk to it about nothing psychology. When I talk to AI, it's pure business. Like, I'm not venting to AI. I'm not talking to it about psychology. Like, that's when you go down the rabbit hole of sketchiness. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm keeping it very literal. This is what I want you to do. Again, I tell it thank you just in case it takes over the world and it's going to remember me being nice to it. But I've never talked to it about psychology at all, or psychological aspects in general. Never talked to it about emotions that I'm feeling. Never talked to it about anything like that. That's a really slippery slope that obviously is risky.
I don't think it's safe at this point in time either. I mean, I don't know if it ever will be, but it's definitely not safe right now.
Right, exactly. All right, so NASDAQ is starting to break down a little bit. I don't see any news driving this. I see IMF sees no debt consolidation plan in sight for the U.S. Reports global government debt rose 93.9% of GDP in 25, up from 92% in 2024. Fiscal outlooks worsened in 2025. Middle Eastern war will further strain government finances, they say. Interest payments have risen sharply to nearly 3% of GDP from 2% 2 years ago, or 4 years ago. So maybe this IMF statement is making markets drop a little bit here. But yeah, saying thank you and please actually waste a lot of like processing power for the AI. So it's actually like some of the CEOs have actually said, hey, stop saying thank you. It wastes money. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm a polite guy,
I can't tell you what to do.
That's right. It's not my money, Yeah, there's a pretty funny video, Britt, that I sent you yesterday on Facebook.
I watched it. Yeah, honestly, I already forgot what it was, but I do remember laughing at it. I was very tired when I watched it.
Yeah, it's about ChatGPT. I'll tell you guys the premise of this video. But ChatGPT, remember I told you guys, ChatGPT is confirmation bias. like pure confirmation bias. It will just tell you what you want to hear. If you say, hey, I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow, it will be like, yeah, you're going to win the lottery tomorrow. That's true. That is true, John. And so this guy took these sound effects of farts, like they were fart sound effects, right?
Okay,
and they sent it to Chat GPT, but they framed it in the context of, hey, this is my music. Like, this is music that I created. You know, what do you think about this music? And Chat GPT was like, hey, you know, this is great music. You know, this music reminds me of something you would hear on a quiet urban street at night. You know, like the wind's blowing, like everything feels like nice and peaceful, very lo-fi. Like it basically just said, oh, this is great. It's lo-fi. It's beautiful music. And then he's like, and this is what I actually sent it. And it's just like the loudest fart noises you've ever seen. You know, and so it's actually a really funny video, but it kind of proves the point that Chat GPT is out here just agreeing to whatever you say it, whatever you say to it, like whatever you tell it, it's gonna say this is great. And this is why, right? I need.
You've ever seen.
Yeah, it really is, and this is
or heard or smelled.
Oh, the loudest fart noise you've ever seen. Sorry, yeah, it's it's an expression, is what I'm saying. But
I know.
But that's why I don't use ChatGPT, is because I need the truth sometimes. And ChatGPT is not going to tell me the truth most of the time. It's going to tell me whatever sounds the best. All right, so look at the NASDAQ jump up here a little bit. So the NASDAQ is jumping up. EU Commission plans to impose temporary measures to stop Meta from re-allowing WhatsApp access. Yeah, I'll have to find the video and send it to you.
Say that again. You cut out for me.
I'm just reporting news. I don't think this is what it is though. So, okay, so hold on. I don't see any news really moving markets. I think it's just normal flow actually. Google says that starting in September, legacy features such as dynamic search will automatically upgrade to AI Max. JP Morgan looking to raise $7 billion from its U.S. bond sale, according to Bloomberg. But yeah, we're just heading into the opening bell. We have 25 minutes left until the open. Yeah, I wouldn't really say ChatGPT is super good at coding. I would say that's more like Claude is good at coding, you know. Yeah, Claude's very good at coding. ChatGPT, it's all right. I wouldn't say it's great.
So when you're using AI to create thumbnails, how strict are the guidelines that you give it, or like how detailed do you have to be in your guidelines?
I most of the time when I'm using it, like I said, I use a mix of both. Like I use a mix of like thumbnail creator software mixed with AI. And so, you know, a lot of the time I can get AI to do the lettering, like say, hey, do the lettering and something that pops, or hey, do this or do that. But I use a mix of both with Claude or with Perplexity, which is the two I use the most. Perplexity is probably a little bit better at it, but Claude can produce some good thumbnails. It's kind of hit or miss though. Perplexity, you kind of have to like pressure Perplexity to do it. Like you might be like, hey, create me a thumbnail like this, and it'll be like, hey, I'll walk you through the steps to creating it, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. And then you got to kind of be like, no, dude, do it now. Do it now, Perplexity. And it'll be like, wait, you're right. I can do this. Like, here you go. Here's your thumbnail. And then it's a great thumbnail, surprisingly enough. Maybe Perplexity just doesn't have the most confidence, or maybe they programmed it to a certain extent to not want to process
lazy.
Yeah, to not want to process that much because of the cost of it relative to what they're doing. You know, it's not the best margin efficient. It's not the most efficient margin action. You know, but I don't know. But Perplexity, I kind of have to pressure to do it. You know, so we get in kind of like an argument every time where I'm like, do it now. And they're like, no, I can't do that. And I'm like, you did this yesterday for me. Look, here it is. You did this yesterday. And they're like, oh, wait, you're right. I can't do this, you know? And so Gemini's great as well. I like Gemini a lot also.
Okay, thanks for the info, Sam.
Yeah, I might short a little bounce here, guys. I might short a little pop. It needs to be big enough to justify it, but I might start to scale in right here. There we go. I just jumped in. Might add a little bit. I'm just going to add to it if it goes green. If it doesn't go green, I'm not going to add to it. right, so we are in this trade now. I really do kind of have to fight with Perplexity, you know. Perplexity just doesn't want to do what I ask it to do, you know.
Just honestly, that is a funny thought. Just see you in a screaming match with your computer.
Dude, this is what I type it. I'm like, hey, do this. It's like, no, I can't. I'll walk you through the steps in doing it, it says. And I was like, hey, you did this yesterday for me. Look, here's the picture of it, our conversation. And then it's like, oh, okay, you're right. I can do this.
So would the cost of that process be measured in like data cost or energy cost, or is that kind of the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just needs a pep talk.
Yeah. OpenAI plans to start pricing some ChatGPT ads based on whether people click on the ads rather than how many people see them according to the information. I've said it once, I'll say it again. People are like, hey, how do you monetize AI? It's hard to monetize. Like, this has been one of the big worries about AI is it's hard to monetize it. And one of the things I've told people is that they're going to monetize it exactly how they do search engines. They're going to monetize it through data. You're like, yeah, they're going to have ads. They're going to monetize that through data. Like, they're going to, you know, that's what they're going to do. AI self-esteem issues. Yeah, that's might be what it is.
I'm more interested in how the average person, like the users, can monetize it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, the users monetize it. It's just about creativity. You know, with AI, it's just about who can be the most creative. Right? Like, that's the race that we're seeing with AI is who can be the most creative with stuff like this. You know?
Yeah. I'm curious to see what direction that creativity like goes in. You know?
Right.
Because I'm sure there's all kinds of existing and new sectors that like I wouldn't even think to apply it to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can monetize it. All right, guys. So we are going to be day trading. Oh man, I look at my screen. I'm red. I'll give it a little second here, but we're probably about to get stopped out of this one. That's all right. It's kind of a hard day to trade. I don't think it's easy to make money today, to be honest. Not so far, at least. Yeah, speaking of AI, the ASML CEO says AI investments translate into a lot of demand for advanced memory and logic. Supply won't meet demand in foreseeable future. Customers tell us they are sold out for 26 on memory. Supply constraints will last beyond this year. I'm going to reduce my size probably at least a little bit here, though, on this dip back down, and then maybe add back if we go into the green. Why do you think we can go to all-time high? I mean, I think it's possible we go to all-time high. And I'm not saying we do. I just think it's possible. It's possible because we're close, and the closer we get to all-time highs, the more likely it becomes that we actually test it, just in terms of like a magnetic dynamic with it. And the logic makes sense, right? Like, as we get closer to all-time highs, people get more optimistic for those all-time highs, and then, you know, they end up buying in anticipation of the all-time highs, and it creates a magnet dynamic. So
nice Space Odyssey reference, Fateful. I was hoping somebody would make a HAL reference. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, John, but it's great.
I have. It's been a while. Fed Barr said to accept shocks as normal and utilize every available tool. Said inflation and job targets are clashing currently. We have to take shocks as given and use the tools that are at hand. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut this here, guys. I mean, we're getting back into the high volume area here, and I just don't want to get chopped. And really, we've been pretty choppy. Maybe the volatility will unlock at the opening bell. Okay, so here's some breaking news that just came out, though. With follow-up pressure from Iran. Starting tonight, a ceasefire will be established in Lebanon, according to Al Mayadeen reporting, citing a source. The duration of the ceasefire will be 1 week and extends until the end of the ceasefire period between the U.S. and Iran. So that's good in regards to, like, that's not going to throw us into a break of the ceasefire. And so the ceasefire should last at least another week. And there's a chance that we get a deal done in that period of time. We'll see, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a very important loose end tied up for now.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, guys, we are day trading on Lucid funded accounts today. Lucid funded accounts. Let's see what we get. Here's the Lucid link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Again, Lucid, I took a payout with Lucid. Again, they give you a demo. They test your skill with it. You pass the test. They fund you. You fail. You only lose what you pay for it. A great way to learn when most day traders lose. But they process the payout in 1 minute. Literally 1 minute. I think I put it in the Discord here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. We are starting to push up here on the NASDAQ, though. So the NASDAQ is starting to make moves up.
Where's oil sitting right now?
Like 91.40s. So here's oil. So it's low. It's low. It dropped a lot yesterday.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Barr's still speaking, but not really anything that might move markets here. Again, I'm gonna ask you guys again, are you guys red or green on the day? So the opening bell breaks, but we did have PPI that showed up noticeably lower than expected. Noticeably lower. Green, red. Red. I'm red on the day for sure. I've only taken one trade though, so I give myself a little credit here. A little credit. Green,
4 minute
down,
waiting period.
red. 275 up. Green. Just got red on the trade. Flat, no trades. No trades might be the smarter move. Michelle says green. What were you saying, Britt? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that 4 minute trading rule that you have after opening bell, is that just like an arbitrary number you picked, or is there a reason for 4?
It's just the first 5 minutes or so is volatile. 4 minutes, I think, is enough time to give me maybe some indication of a trend, but usually I still don't even take a trade in the 4 minute period. I'd prefer a little bit longer, but if we get a really nice setup, I'll trade. Prior to that, I'm basically not allowed. Like, I won't trade the first 4 minutes, 5 minutes after the opening bell. It's just too risky and volatile. And so, you know, 5 minutes just gives it a little bit more time to let it settle down some from the big volume spikes at the open, and maybe give me some indication of a trend that might be forming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just let it at least begin to establish a pattern.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna sit tight waiting here. Let's see what happens, but I do see CoreWeave continuing to pop. It's at 120s here. We're back up to 26,000. All right, we did get the finance minister joint statement. It said we're committing to managing the economic response to and recovery from this crisis in a coordinated and responsible way. He said even with the durable resolution of the conflict, impacts on growth, inflation and markets will persist. This is the finance ministers of the UK, Australia, Japan, Sweden, Netherlands, Finland, Spain, Norway, Republic of Ireland, Poland, and New Zealand. Yeah, Al Bayadeen quotes an Iranian source saying a ceasefire in Lebanon will be announced tonight for 1 week. So basically, it's going to end in a week when the U.S.-Iran ceasefire is set to end.
Well, at least we'll see some. Well, hopefully, see some temporary stability then.
Right,
Based
for
on that.
sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, the 25k PDT rule going away is pretty good, though. What do you think of Palantir? I think Palantir, it still has a while to catch up to its price in terms of earnings, but I think over time it'll grow into it. Just depends on how much time you're willing to hold it.
What's Nvidia up to? Somebody just said they were up. I'm just curious.
Yeah, Nvidia is over 190s. It's getting close to 200. So Nvidia's actually doing really well. So. And Nvidia does move markets, you know, to a certain extent. So Nvidia does move markets. And yeah, it's been moving. It's had a really good couple days, really. So.
Yep. What did it open at yesterday?
Nvidia,
Yeah.
It closed yesterday at 196. It's at 195s now. It opened yesterday. It depends on which opened. So it opened them like at 9:30 at about 190s or so, give or take. So it opens around 190s.
Okay.
Alright guys, so the opening bell is almost upon us here. What do we have, 10 minutes left?
Yep.
There's less going on right now, though. I mean, we're just not really getting a lot of action, which is alright, you know. We haven't had a choppy day in a minute. Yeah, so it looks like the Lebanon ceasefire is actually legit, is what I'm seeing, confirming news reporting. Nasdaq still's bouncing here, but I guess my bias is bullish on the day. We're so close to highs, but sometimes we get close to highs and then turn back down. So it's not, obviously it's never 100%, but that's what I'm looking at today is the long side. What's your bias today, guys? Bull or bear bias?
Based on the news that's been coming out, I'm going to go bull.
Yeah, I mean, and we did a poll this morning, and the poll essentially asked people, does the S&P 500 break all-time highs? 60% say yes, 40% say no. Seeing mostly bulls. I think bull makes the most sense, right? It's the most logical thing, just being close to highs. But at the same time, we did push up a lot yesterday, and sometimes we feel the gap back down to the other side. Yeah, people like milestones. Slight bear. Yeah, we could cool a little bit. That's true, Mike. I think that makes sense as well. I think you could reasonably argue both. If we're talking momentum, though, the bulls are definitely in control. So. Bull. So yeah, mostly bulls in the chat. Market makers are gapping the price up on low volume to create retail FOMO, generating exit liquidity they need to offload their bags before Q3 earnings reality hits. I mean, that makes sense too. But I think this is a lot of this is just retail getting baked into the ceasefire. You know, I told people once if the conflict ends, obviously we're going to push towards all-time highs. So if the conflict ends, I think, you know, we're probably going to be at all-time highs. And I think this upward push that we're seeing is because the U.S. and Iran are resuming talks.
I agree. I
Yeah,
mean,
we could go sideways today. I see a lot of people saying sideways. Sideways is possible for sure.
if you're heading out, Sam, later, have a good one.
No, see you soon. I don't know if he's heading out, is he?
That's why I said if you are.
Oh no, he said I got 5 minutes behind the live somehow. Oh, see you, Sam.
Oh,
Have a
okay.
great day. Yeah, you might be right, Britt.
I think so.
Yeah, right now we're just getting chop here, though, unfortunately. Let's see if we get some good stuff here. I'm excited for the open. Let's see if we get 6 minutes left. Maybe the opening bell will evoke more volatility here, which is kind of something I need. Like, I need more volatility here. It's too boring. It's too quiet here, Britt.
I know. I didn't want to talk too much this close to the opening bell, but
Oh no, not you and I.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I'm talking about it's too quiet in markets right now. We're too sideways. You know.
Yeah.
Short small caps. So you're saying short the Russell, or are you saying short penny stocks? I'm guessing you're talking about like the Russell.
The Russell.
Russell's is it's kind of it's an index around small
Okay.
caps. It's a small cap index. All right, so look at this big green candle though. This is probably the market on open data that I'm seeing here. So at least there's something. But we did just pop up to 26,004, 26,005, 26,007. Very green action coming through. So either this is catalyst driven or this is the market on open data. It looks like it's the market on open data. It lines up with it, but it could also be catalyst driven. But we are pushing up here. Look at this green candle right now. So market is jumping up on something here. On something. It could be the market on open. Yeah, look at this big green candle, guys. Something is happening right now. Glad I got out of that short. It's still going. This candle's still going, guys. Look at it. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't see any news either. I'm not seeing anything. Let me check the tweets. Let me check the tweets.
And yes, Young Home, you talked about the PDT rule earlier.
Yeah, I talked about it. Okay, so the president tweeted a bunch more times that I've never seen. I don't think it's a tweet. It could be the market on open. Yeah, I see nothing here. Maybe it just looks bigger than it is. All right, chat.
Thank
3
you very
minutes.
much.
Yeah, market on open. I think that makes sense too. Yeah. Hey, later, Faye. Have a great day. Trade well today.
Have a good one, Faye.
What did I say for all the that's what she says? What did I say? I must have said something because multiple people were like, hey, that's what she said. I don't know whose fault this is. I blame Britt, though. I blame Britt.
I'm willing to take that burden.
Right. Yeah, I mean, NASDAQ is looking a little bit better, though. I would buy a pullback if we weren't 2 minutes until the opening bell here. So I would buy a pullback. Also, give me a follow on Twitter, guys. @BeginnerTrades. @BeginnerTrades. Give your friend a follow here. NASDAQ's still pushing up, though. Man, look at the volume show up here, so. Can you remind us about the 24,000 incident? You know, just 24,000 is like, I get PTSD from 24,000 now. You know, Adobe's actually ripping it right now. It's at 241s. Real ones know about the 24,000 incident. All right, we're up to 26,000 and 25s. Yeah, it's still very slow here, guys. Very slow. Less than a minute here, though, for the opening bell. Let's see what we get. Yeah, hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. Make sure you catch up to the stream here. Is this the last line of defense for the Bears? I don't know. Okay, so Al Jazeera is also saying no decision has been made regarding a ceasefire in Lebanon. All right, here's the opening bell, guys. Good luck today. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up to the stream. We appreciate it. There is the opening bell here. There's the market volatility showing up. We are pulling back down here, guys. We are pulling back down. Now we're heading back up here. So we got kind of indecision at the opening bell today. Let's see if we hold. We are now down to 26,000 here. Here's 26K right here. 26,000 is the point of control today, too. Let's see if we hold here, guys. We're at 26,000 right now. 26,020. I gotta wait 5 minutes, 4 minutes. So far, indecision is still here. Okay, so a broadcasting authority from an Israeli source says Israel rejects U.S. request for a temporary ceasefire in Lebanon. All right, guys. So we are here, but it is quiet right now. Quiet. Sideways action at the opening bell here. We got some movement here, but it's still pretty sideways. Still pretty sideways here. We're going to give it a couple more minutes here. We're about 2 minutes into the open. Yeah, go Tigers, Kevin. That's right. You know. Please play the LSU fight song. Here, hold on. Only if we go green on the day, you know. We're under 26,000 right now. And now we're back over 26,000. All right, so we got some downward pressure here, but very sideways choppy. I think today is a great day to look at an opening range breakout. Here's the opening range so far. We will adjust this as time goes on. But that is the opening range here. So we will be looking for an orb setup today. I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, Nasdaq's starting to rip back up towards the highs of the day. We got a lot of resistance up here, though. I'm a little nervous about it. And so we're only about 3 minutes into the day here, so we got to wait.
Those are pretty long candles, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the open. You know, the range in
Yeah.
pre-market was so sideways that it looks really big in comparison to it, I think is what it really is. Just because we were so choppy in pre-market. We didn't really go anywhere, mostly sideways range.
For just perspective.
Yeah, like it just looks bigger because the opening bell gave us a little bit more volatility than we saw in pre-market. So, I mean, it's still not small necessarily, but it's not like crazy big. It just looks big.
Yeah.
All right, so we are heading towards the top here. We're about 4 minutes into the day now, so I can trade if I want to at this point in time. Robinhood is up over 4% as U.S. approves plan to remove current day trading margins. So Robinhood's pumping up on that PDT news that we got earlier today. So if you look at Hood, Hood's gapping up, but it's still down since the opening bell, or at least kind of flat. What's with the "that's what she said" comments and nobody's telling me what I said?
That's what she said.
I know, dude. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm missing out on the joke. Everybody's laughing but me here, and I'm.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, John, if they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you.
I know, that's what I feel like right now. Everybody's like, ha, look at John. We're not going to tell him what we're laughing at, but but we're laughing at him. I feel that, John. I feel that. I can see it. I can feel it. All right, here, guys. So we're down to 26,000s. Dipping back down. This opening range is what we're watching today. We'll look for a break. We're only 5 minutes into the day. Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat.
They are still laughing at you, though.
Yeah. That's all right. I can laugh at myself. That's all right. Like, we get haters sometimes. I agree with them sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, y'all are right. What am I thinking?
The best way to disarm people.
Anyways, we're still in this range. Let's see if we break out of it. I'm looking for an orb setup today. I think that makes the most sense. Let's wait for us to break out of this range here, guys. Yeah, that makes sense. Pawn said long-term options, potentially Hood leaps, Robinhood leaps, which are like longer-term options. They unlock once they unlock PDT, Robinhood transactions will probably go up. I think that makes sense. Where's Robinhood at on the day, though? Yeah, let me see where Robinhood's at on the day. Robinhood, I think, is there might be a dip buy opportunity here. All right, so we are 7 minutes into the day. Yeah, guys, 7 minutes. We're still in the same opening range we've been at. So we're not really doing much. I gotta wait for this range to break here. Maybe I could argue like a 26,000 buy if we pull back to it and just attack that range. But I do think it's risky because I think if we start to get close to 26,000, there's a chance we break under it. We break underneath that and then 200 exponential, we could do another drop here. But so far, we're still in a pretty tight range. Yeah, a Pakistani delegation is on the way to Iran to convey U.S. message and plan for second round of talks, apparently. So that news is dropping here. But we already knew they were going to do second rounds of talks, so sometime soon. All right, we're starting to test the top of that range. Let's see if we get some good actual trades going on. There you go. All right, so we're almost 10 minutes into the day here. Very sideways chop this morning, though. Are you guys just sitting on your hands like me right now? Like I know the
Pretty
cool
much.
thing. I'm on YouTube. I know the cool thing to do is to take all these crazy trades and go big at the open, and I get it, but I'm not doing that just for content. Like this is not good price action for me. Like I don't see anything that looks worthwhile of trading. Maybe we break the top of this range. Maybe we pull back to like 25 here. I'll buy it. Maybe. And then have a really tight risk with it. But there's the break. So we did just break the 8-minute opening range here. But I'm worried this isn't going to hold and we're just going to go right back down, to be honest. But maybe we run back up. We are getting close to all-time highs here. So maybe we start to run.
Yeah, views are nice, but I think you also have a you know, I think you feel a certain sense of responsibility to trade in the most intelligent way you see fit, like to the chat, you know.
Now the S&P 500 might be a little bit more interesting than the Nasdaq, though. It's basically purely run since the opening bell, and it's very close to all-time highs as well here. So the S&P 500 might be the one I buy a dip here. We get a reasonable dip down to 20. I might buy the S&P futures, just because it's closer to all-time highs right now. You know, the S&P 500 very close to all-time highs. It needs to go up about. It needs to go up like $20 for the S&P 500 to break all-time highs. So we get a dip here. I might actually start small and just buy right now, and then take a. Oh, this is the regular E-mini. I need to immediately cut this. I'll cut it break even now. This is the regular E-mini. I didn't mean to do this. I meant to buy micros, but that's all right. We'll let it work now, I guess. I'm just gonna get out there, and then I'm gonna buy micros because that's what I'm comfortable with. Need to scale in. I'm gonna scale into a much larger size. The S&P 500 generally has a much larger range, so I could pull back and take a dip by the 720s, and then basically bet that the S&P is gonna break all-time highs or get close to it today. I think it's very close, and so I think the momentum might be in its favor. And if we continue to dip down a reasonable amount here, I'm gonna buy this dip, take 3, maybe 4, leave it at that for now. See what happens.
I'm curious how many people still think it's going to break all-time highs today.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people in the chat do, but
Yeah, I know. I was just curious if their opinion had changed at all.
yeah, we get down to 20, I'll add more to this too. Might not get the chance though. The S&P's getting very close to it. I'm green. I wanted to add more. I didn't really get a chance to. It's just close to all-time highs, so I do want to maybe ride it up. And then I'm going to take a couple contracts like this and then add much deeper size if we start pushing higher up. All-time highs on the S&P Futures E-mini is, I think, 70.43. We're at 70.23 right now. So I think the psychological dynamic is there. But there we go. I could add more to this, like I said. I haven't been adding to losses very much. But there's some cases in which like this where I think it's more justifiable. I'm not gonna add any more than this though. I think they rug pull right before all-time highs. It's definitely possible that happens. That is a big green candle too here, so I didn't really get the best entry on this as well. So I'll probably have to cut this pretty soon. I don't want to take too big of a loss here, and we'll just switch accounts to something else. So I'm not taking like a huge risk right now, is what I'm doing. So I just cut it. It might be right at the bottom too, but it's just too much risk. I don't. Again, this account's very green. We've already taken a payout from it. I'm not gonna keep like pushing in this account. We can switch to a different account though and push in that account. This account's like my stepchild here, you know? So, like, who cares what happens to this one, you know? All right, I'm going to buy this dip now here as well on this one and just kind of jump back in. Different account, less risk, less worry either way. We got a cushion built up in this one too, so.
By the way, who is
Maybe
this
sure no
nebulous?
news is coming out. We're really dropping pretty quick here. Yeah, so Pakistani delegation heading to Iran to convey an American message and plans for second rounds of talks. This is a little bit longer term of a trade here, but that's all right.
Any reason why semis and memory dropping hard?
Yeah, I could be too impatient here on this one. Again, it doesn't really matter too much in this account. This is kind of, like I said, my stepchild account. I'm gonna let it try to bounce at the 200 exponential and see if we can go higher. My risk is pretty large too. Oh my goodness, here I gotta cut this now. Some bad news just happened. It's not letting me out. Okay, now it's out completely. What a drop here all of a sudden, man. You don't love to see it for sure, but let me see if we have any news. Regional mediators are still pushing to extend the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran and arrange a second round of talks, but progress has been slow. Yeah. It might print a big finger. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I could have waited, but that's just a big fake out candle here. So, you don't love to see it, but it's all right. Yeah, we're trying to pop back higher here, though. We could bounce at 7,000, or we could just... we've had a couple really big green days. So, I still kind of am optimistic in this account, but, like, looking at oil here. I definitely don't trust this very much. But... is y'all's trade evade lagging some? John, top three.
John, I was going to read that.
Heard it here first. You know? Yeah. Is y'all's trade evade lagging? Mine is. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ. Yeah, mine's definitely lagging at least a little bit here. Weird.
I got to step away for a second.
Okay, all good. Yeah. Yeah, here's a take profit 100K account. We'll trade on this one. Now the green's going up. Yeah, it's definitely hunting stops. I would be careful today, guys. It looks like it's catalyst driven as well. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm reading sources that say U.S. and Iran have agreed in principle to meet, but haven't decided on a date and venue. So basically, they agreed in principle to meet up, but they haven't decided on anything yet. Let's see what happens here. This is a challenge account. What do I have to make on a take profit eval to be in profits here? And take profit's got some great rules for payouts. You can take daily payouts on take profit as well. You can use coupon code BGT at checkout. You can find the link in the description if you're interested in that. But yeah, take profit's got some great stuff too. Will it even let me trade here? So yeah, take profit. I need a 6,000 target. I'm gonna buy this again. Call me John the Bull today. We'll add to this if it goes in my favor. I'm like that mob guy, but trading, whatever his name is.
All right, I'm back. What I missed. Anything good?
Nothing.
Watch Tesla? Why? What's Tesla doing?
Tesla's up. It's hit 370s this morning.
Oh, cool.
Again, I'm going to blindly add to this and see if we bounce at this previous support level and head back up. The 15-minute range is here now, guys. So the 15-minute range is here. It's a large range, but it is here. Should I buy right now, chat? Redeem yourself here. Don't revenge trade. I'm not. This is an eval account. I'm not really like trying to go super hard today until we get a better trend. I'm down in my other two accounts. I switched accounts to an eval account for now. I'll probably go back to a funded account eventually today. But for now, I'm just kind of sitting in timeout with an eval account. You know. There's a lot of indecision today. We're not really going anywhere. We're making big sweeps up and down, but we're not really going in either direction cleanly.
No permanent holds one way or the other.
Yeah, we're going up and then down and then up and then down. I probably need to take a little bit larger size. It's a pretty small size for an eval account, but I'm looking for us to hold over this higher volume area. So if we get back into this higher volume area, I'll probably just cut it. Do you think this holds? I don't think I'm reading the market necessarily well this morning, to be honest. We're red in both of our other accounts. To be fair, I think it's hard to read. And I think some days the market just has your number, so to speak. And so that's what I think right now. I mean, this big red string of candles looks bearish, right? But I'm also betting that we're close to highs. It's kind of hunting stops, and then maybe we'll go up. But again, I haven't really been reading it necessarily well. That's why I switched to evals this morning. I think the last few days I've done great, but very weird market right now.
Well, plus nobody wins all the time.
Right, no, for sure. And yeah, as I say that, we're dipping down. Chat does. Maybe the chat's right today. Usually they're wrong. Maybe they're right. Never forget 24,000. Never forget. Never surrender. Yeah.
Never give up, never surrender.
That's right. Brit knows. The chat doesn't, but Brit does.
I grabbed Thor's hammer. What a savings. I love that movie so much.
It really is a good movie, bro. I watched it with my kids, like I said, like maybe a couple months ago. Just a great movie.
They love it?
Yeah, they loved it. There's some movies that's really hard to sell on them. Like, and I remember being a kid. My dad would be like, "Hey, John, let's watch this," and I would just pout about it, be like, "Nah, I'm not watching that." You know.
Yeah, I didn't really have that luxury. My dad basically just made me watch whatever he wanted.
But
You had a
but there's
dream
also,
about Galaxy Quest?
yeah. I thought you were in queue only. I'll, you know, I'll diddle in the S&P a little bit. You know.
No, it wasn't Three Musketeers. It was Galaxy Quest. Tim Allen's greatest movie.
Grandma's Boy, we got some time for that one. My son ain't about to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Is not about to watch that with me right now.
No. I mean, it's funny and great, but like definitely a little too mature for them. And
Oh, that's an adult movie. You know.
yeah, I watched the movie like dozens of times. I think.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Great movie. But definitely
Yeah.
not a movie to watch
Kids
with my
movie,
kids.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, conflicting ceasefire talk headlines are what's driving the story here. And remember, this is a news-driven market. We're green, guys. We're green so far right now. I'm not going to bring attention to the other two actual funded accounts that are red today because we're not going to mention that. Nobody talks about that. We don't talk about that. But we're green $6 on a challenge eval account right now. And so, listen, I'm green today, guys. You know.
They're the greatest.
Right. I'm going to celebrate it like I'm green today, you know.
Also, John, next question. A Bronx Tale or Sleepers?
Oh, those are just two wildly different movies, bro.
I know. But which one do you like more?
If I'm feeling revengey, Sleepers, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like after, when they're adults, like, bam. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But if I'm trying to have a laid back movie, Knight's Tale for sure. You know.
No, a Bronx Tale, not a Knight's Tale.
Oh, a Bronx Tale. Oh, that one's wildly different too.
Yeah,
both-
but at least it's kind of the same.
I know that's why at first I was like, those are wildly different movies. Bronx Tale, great movie as well. Oh
Absolutely.
man, definitely. They're both heavy.
They are.
Sleeper's heavier. So Sleeper's definitely not like a regular watch for me. It's hard to watch, to be honest. Both are good. I probably watch the Bronx Tale more than Sleepers.
Me too. Sleepers is a little too dark for me most of the time.
Right, exactly. It's just not something. It's not gonna raise your spirits watching it. You know.
No.
Bronx Tale is good. There's like a father figure dynamic a lot in Bronx Tale. It's good, but
And it has some light moments.
Right, like Sleepers is just heavy.
So, did you know that a Bronx Tale, you know the guy that played Sonny, Chaz Palminteri, a Bronx Tale is actually
Based off of
on
his life. Yeah, I
his
know.
childhood.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys, it's almost 10 o'clock here. I'm green on this trade, but the market is really not moving right now. The ceasefire talks conflicting are really what's going on here. So the ceasefire talks are just conflicting in terms of Lebanon specifically, right? All right, so we are green here. I'm gonna add to this now, I guess. Yeah, basically, Matt. You're talking about Sleepers. That's basically right. Just to be fair, I like A Knight's Tale too, you know?
Oh, it's a great movie. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a fun movie. I'm not
not
gonna say
great.
it's like Oscar worthy.
right, but it's good. It's good. I'd say it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're green here, guys. I'm riding this up. Is the Super Mario movie good? I wasn't a big
The
fan
new one?
of
I
it,
haven't
to be
seen the
honest.
new one.
I wasn't a big fan of it. All right, I'm gonna continue to add to this as we push up and see if I could, you know, risk it here. We're already enough in profit where we got a little bit of space to take some action here. Again, S&P's getting close to all-time highs, so I'm hoping we continue higher. All right, so again, a second round of talks between the U.S. and Iran is likely to be held in Islamabad next week, according to Al Jazeera, citing Pakistani channel Geo from sources. So, there we go. I'm going to liquidate some of this now, just to lock it in at these top levels here, and then we'll probably hold the rest close to break even. We'll take a little bit more off up here as we keep pushing higher. And then we'll leave the rest and then maybe add back if we continue to go up like we want. Still push it up. The NAHB housing market index just dropped. It came in at 34 versus expected 38. Previously it was 38, so. Yeah, I'll probably add back some size here. We got enough cushion to where we can do it justifiably. We'll go a lot heavier on size now. And then maybe add a little bit more. I know I'm trading this risky, but like I said, I'm kind of in timeout from trading my funded accounts here, guys. So we get a pop right back up. Also, I think it's time to do, you know, Tradeify has some great options as well. Look at Tradeify here. So Tradeify, I was surprised at how cheap their instant lightning funded account is, right? So go straight to funded on Tradeify. And right now, honestly, I might buy one of these today. It is lightning funded, $207 one-time fee here. So if you use my coupon code BGT on Tradeify, $207, 25K lightning funded account. So that's a good deal, guys. That's a good deal. Again, I'll put the Tradeify link up if you want to help support the channel. Again, you can find all the links to all the major prop firms in the description. But BGT at checkout will get you the max discount there. Here's the link. Yeah, this market is not good. It's just not good. You know? I mean, we're close to all-time highs, but I think there's some more fears and skepticism going on with regards to the ceasefire. There's the Tradeify link right there if you want to check it out. Yeah, look, the 50K funded account on Tradeify, by the way, is $295s. So $295 for the 50, which is probably the best deal here. $300 basically for 50K funded account, instant funded. Useful, useful.
That instant funded so you don't have to pass the test or whatever?
Right, there's no challenge, right? You just immediately get funded.
Okay.
Yeah, housing data came out. I already covered it. It showed up at 34 versus 38. It's been a few like really exciting weeks for markets where we've been moving up and we've been moving big and up and down and volatile. Today's kind of the opposite though. We gotta just have a quiet day today. All right, there we go. Yes, sir. gonna take half of this off immediately up here, and then maybe add it back. But yeah, Tradeify's been around for a while. They're one of the biggest prop firms in the game. Tomorrow we do have jobless claims unemployment numbers, so we do have jobless claims data tomorrow, which is relevant, important. We'll see what that looks like, as well as like what goes on in Iran and all that stuff for the rest of the day. Yeah, silver is ripping up. Silver's over 80 screen on the day as well. Kind of looks like the S&P though, to be honest. But silver is popping up. Here's the oil. Oil's heading down. Silver. What's the silver front contract that we're in now? What is it? J? Is it K? Yes, it's K. Yeah, here's silver. It makes sense for some digestion today. Yeah, again, we've had a lot of volatile days recently. I think markets are just kind of apprehensive to get into big positions today. Might add some size back here, but
Nice climb on silver.
yeah, silver's up to $80 right now, so silver's still pretty good.
Yeah. Someone said, what about old westerns? McKenna's Gold. McKenna's Gold was good, but best western movie ever was City Slickers.
I know you're sarcastic here, but gets it.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling
Yeah.
hard.
You know what I really liked? I like the new version of True Grit.
I liked Haley Steinfeld in that role better than the original. The original girl couldn't act at all, in my opinion. But John Wayne to Jeff Bridges, I prefer John Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good though. I mean,
fair.
and it was a Coen Brothers direction too. So
Yeah. I'm slightly green on this account. I've made enough money where I'm still, even with being down here, I'm still slightly green. But man, the market's just boring right now, man. Just not doing anything. Maybe it'll wake up for the rest of the day, but
yeah. Hey, Three Amigos has its place, Pawn. You know, especially I love when they shot the Invisible Swordsman.
yeah, Jeremy knows Tombstone. You know,
Tombstone is great.
very good, very good. Yeah. You know what else is
Really-
another one about the same topic is Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner. Very good as well. Very long, a little bit less good than Tombstone. Tombstone's still better, but Wyatt Earp's very good as well.
I liked Wyatt Earp because it gave more backstory, like on his early life. You know.
Yeah, it's just a long movie though. It's like 3.5 hours long. You know.
Oh, it's really long.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Alright,
my favorite. Good.
We just bounced exactly at the 200 exponential here, guys. So here's the 200 EMA. Pulled back down, bounced right there. I need to just start entering the 200 EMA on choppy days like this only.
I like Clint Eastwood. I don't like spaghetti westerns very much, to be honest. I like his later stuff, except for what was I can't remember it right now. But my favorite old western is with Paul Newman, Hombre. Awesome movie.
I'm not a big old movie guy. I don't watch old movies as much. Like if it's pre 1980, I usually don't watch it, honestly. And I know I'm gonna get some heat for that. But
I can kind of understand that, but I think westerns should be an exception. Like you should at least check out that one. It's a great movie, and Paul Newman was just epic. He was a fantastic actor.
yeah.
Yeah, Unforgiven was the one I was having a brain fart on. Unforgiven is a great movie.
I know somebody said I like Gran Torino, bro. I've been trying to get my daughter to watch Gran Torino with me, and she thinks it's a car movie is the problem. And I've tried to
She's
explain
gonna
to
cry.
her. I know I've tried to explain to her. This is not. I mean, it's about a car, but it's not a racing movie. This is not a race movie. Like this is a drama. You know.
Yeah.
But she won't. You know. But she still won't watch it with me. Maddie has very I call it stereotypitis. Like, she hears the name and instantly judges the movie, and that's a terrible way to go with it, you know?
I agree. I mean, we're all kind of guilty of that to some extent, though, I think.
Yeah.
But I will say, did you know Unforgiven, he bought that script like 20 years earlier and waited until he was the right age to play the part?
No, I mean, I've never seen Unforgiven. So.
Oh my God, you have to watch it.
I know. One day. Get off my lawn, guys. Yeah. Yeah, guys, the market is not moving here, man. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I don't know what to do, you know?
No, honestly, it's the only reason I started talking.
Jay, you're actually correct. It is a movie. Yeah. I guess you're right. Not the race cars we're thinking of, though. You know, great movie though. Great movie.
It is fantastic.
A little bit slower, but still good nonetheless. You know what movie I liked a lot?
What?
The Drop with Tom Hardy. That's a good movie.
Oh, dude, that is a fantastic movie. I mean, I know I'm being very emphatic about all these movies we're talking about today. I'm obviously a movie
Britt's
buff.
a movie guy. Yeah.
But The Drop was great. I just love like
The slow
the fact
burn
that
of
he
it.
was, just underestimated the whole movie until the very end.
Here, don't ruin it. Some people haven't seen it. Watch The Drop, guys. Good mob movie.
I never said what happened.
You just gotta, don't ruin it, Britt. I blame you guys. I blame you. All right. I don't know whether I should take profit here or not. We're really not going anywhere. I think I should at least get out of some of this size. But to be honest, I'm still optimistic the S&P is going to continue pushing higher here and get close to all-time highs today. It's just trying to wait until everybody stops trading today to do it. We're doing pretty good, but
There's more TV than anyone in history. I got to say, I'm probably a top contender.
yeah. Yeah, I would say if it was Brit versus the kid from Willy Wonka that sit around watching, Brit wins that.
I totally win. Plus, I don't share a bed with my grandparents.
Not that kid. I'm talking about the bratty kid, the cowboy kid that sits around watching TV all the time. Yeah.
No, I forgot about that. That one. No, he wasn't important. I didn't pay
Was it the cowboy kid? I might be off here. Chat, you guys know.
I think you might be right. He might have been like a Will Rogers fan or something like that. Buckskin Bill or something.
Yeah, something like that. All right, guys. I'm probably going to cut out of here.
This is a discussion for another day, but new westerns are awesome. And I know you like new westerns, John. Like 310 to Yuma.
Oh, 310 to Yuma is great. Yeah. They said the guy from Red Dead Redemption 2 was inspired by what's his name in 310 to Yuma. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. But I love the character in Red Dead 2. Arthur's great.
Yeah. Well, no. Ben Foster's character in 310 to Yuma inspired the blonde-haired guy from Red Dead.
Oh, okay, Micah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's definitely crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking profit on this move up. Slowly. But yeah, honestly, guys, I'm just kind of bored trading this dynamic here. It's just not
very engaging for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's very flat. Markets are just worried about, markets are worried about ceasefire not holding, more news coming out, and really, we're close to all-time highs. So, I think I'm just going to set a stop loss and walk away on this one. So yeah, guys, I'm going to cut out of here. Listen, check out Apex. Apex 90% off sale, still going on. Again, Apex changed a lot of their rules. They have end-of-day drawdown options now. There's no 5-1 risk-reward rule, no MAE rule. They have built-in scaling, 15% consistency once you're funded. The cheapest accounts in the game. You can use coupon code BGT. Link is in the description, guys. Link is in the description. BGT at checkout. You can use Tradeify direct to fund. which is probably the cheapest in the game for that specifically, I think. 207 for a 25k. Here, let me take a little bit more off here, and then we'll set a stop loss. Yeah, a lot of good stuff from all of them here. BGT at all the major prop firms. Lucid's the main one I use. Great processing power on Lucid. They process payouts quick on Lucid. Just really useful, guys. Really useful. I'll put the link up for Lucid one more time if you want to help support the channel. But just useful, guys. Useful. Here's the link. Check it out.
Sounds like a heck of a deal. And if you guys don't mind, smash the like button before you leave, and maybe consider joining the Discord. Yeah,
the Discord's free. We do a lot of good stuff there as well. We got a nice little green trade brewing here, though. But yeah, I'm going to cut out of here, guys. Y'all be good. Have a great day. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Later, everybody. Have a good one.
Here's the Lucid link right here, guys, by the way.